Chapter 143. Well, let's try your craft. Xiao Chun took the 5 bowls of noodles from the tray one by one, and then returned the tray to Ker Lin and said, "Let Tang Tang help you pack some fried dough twists or something. Let's go back for lunch." No need. Ker Lin shook her head quickly. Then I'll go first. After she finished speaking, Lin Kor looked as if she was escaping. She quickly picked up the tray and was about to return. However, she was grabbed by Tang Tang and stuffed a bag of fried dough twists and sesame balls into her hands. She said, "Go back and have a taste. In order to deliver noodles to us, you are almost framed. No matter what, I have to show my gratitude." Then, "Thank you, sister." Ker Lin took the bag and thanked Tang Tang with a sweet smile. "Go back, Sister Lin. Be careful on the road." Tang Tang waved her hand to her. This little girl was really weak. Tang Tang felt a little sorry for her and was afraid that someone would bully her. Some people come out to do odd jobs during work, but they also go to pick up girls. Do you think I don't exist? Cheng Minjing waited for Xiao Chun to sit down, then glared at him and said, "Pick up the noodles and treat me to it. Then I will forgive you." Okay. Xiao Chun was a little speechless. If you want to eat spiced noodles, just say it. Why do you have to make so many excuses? Xiao Chun picked up the noodles in front of Cheng Minjing and handed it to Cheng Minjing again and said, "Miss, please enjoy." "That's more like it." Cheng Minjing took the noodles and nodded with satisfaction. Lu Zhiming sighed watching from the side. Xiao Chun used to be a young master. Even if he offended the Cheng family, he didn't need to torture him like this, right? However, between Cheng Minjing and Xiao Chun, he naturally preferred Cheng Minjing. At this time, it was not appropriate for him to say anything. Anyway, if Xiao Chun was willing to lose face, then so be it. "Cousin-in-law, I also want VIP service," Jean Bebe said as she pointed at the board in front of her. "All right." Xiao Chun picked up the noodles and handed them to Jean Bebe. Only then did she happily take them and eat them. Finally, when Xiao Chun sat down, Lu Zhiming patted his shoulder and said, "I say, Xiao Chun, it seems that being a servant is not easy. Are you like this every day?" "More or less. I'll get used to it." Xiao Chun nodded and ate the noodles indifferently. To be honest, the noodles tasted good, especially the spicy chili. Seeing that Xiao Chun and the others were enjoying the noodles, Lu Zhiming also took a bite. As soon as he ate it, he was so spicy that he shouted, "Damn, why is it so spicy?" Lu Zhiming didn't like chili. The soup of the noodles was not very red, but he didn't expect it to be so spicy. It was so spicy. "Little Lu, it seems that you and Cousin Minjing have different tastes. Then let's not eat together in the future." "Cousin Minjing and I both like Sichuan cuisine," Jean Bebe said. "Ha, I like it too. I like it a lot. I like it a lot." Lu Zhiming quickly grinned. "I like chili the most. Don't you know? I often eat steamed buns with chili." "Really? That's great." Jean Bebe threw all the chili in her bowl into Lu Zhiming's bowl. Then, she threw all the chili that was floating on the edge of Cheng Minjing's bowl into Lu Zhiming's bowl. Cheng Minjing had only eaten the spinach on the noodles and hadn't touched the noodles yet, so she didn't touch the chili at all. Lu Zhiming didn't mind it, and Jean Bebe didn't care about it either. Instantly, there were more than 10 chili in Lu Zhiming's bowl. Well, Lu Zhiming was dumbfounded. He felt like slapping himself in the face. Why did he brag so much? Did he make a mistake? However, he couldn't say that he didn't want to eat it. He could only say, "I'll eat it slowly." "Little Lu, you won't dislike Cousin Minjing and me, will you? Why don't you eat it?" Although Jean Bebe said so, in fact, neither she nor Cheng Minjing had touched the chili. "Of course not. I'm more than happy to eat it. Why would I dislike it? I'll eat it. I'll eat it now." Lu Zhiming took a deep breath and encouraged himself. It was the chili that Cheng Minjing had eaten before. The goddess had eaten it before. It must be delicious with the help of love. Although he knew that Cheng Minjing had never touched the chili with her chopsticks. Wow! Lu Zhiming's face turned green immediately after he ate a chili. However, he had to pretend that it was delicious. Yes, it's delicious. The chili is delicious. Eat more if you like it," Jean Bebe said with a smile. "Yes, I'm eating it. Lu Zhenming said. After a few more bites, Lu Zhenming couldn't stand it anymore. He felt that he was burning and smoking. He hurried to say, "It's getting late. There's a match in the evening. I'd better go get my car serviced." "Oh, all right. What a waste of the chili," Jean Bebe said regretfully. "How about I pack it up for you? You can eat it while watching the match. Match with chili. You'll be happy for the whole night." "Well, the noodles must be soft at night. They won't taste good." "Forget it." Lu Zhenming almost cried. Match with chili? Happy for the whole night? He was going to cry all night. Then forget it. Cousin Minjing hates people who waste food, Jean Bebe said as she handed the car key to Lu Zhenming. "Okay, pack it up." Lu Zhenming gnashed his teeth and said, "Little Lu, you are truly a model of thrift." Jean Bebe ran to take out a food bag and poured Lu Zhenming's noodles into it. "I'll take care of it for you tonight." "Thank you." Lu Zhenming took a deep breath and gave his car key to Jean Bebe. Then he quickly disappeared. "Bebe, he won't die from the spiciness, will he?" Cheng Minjing was a little worried. Although she didn't like Lu Zhenming, she didn't want him to die. "Don't worry. He won't die," Jean Bebe said. "All right." Cheng Minjing finished the noodles and said to Xiao Chun, "Bebe and I will go back first." "Okay. See you tonight." Xiao Chun nodded. He had to fry the dough sticks until the afternoon. There was still a lot of business to do. After Cheng Minjing and Jean Bebe left, Xiao Chun went to sell the dough sticks, and Tang Tang came to eat the noodles. When she finished the noodles, it was time for lunch again. "Hey, are you going to take part in the car race tonight?" Tang Tang had overheard the conversation. "Yes, I'll go and have a look. Anyway, I can make money," Xiao Chun nodded and said. "Then be careful. Forget it if it's dangerous," Tang Tang reminded him. "Don't worry. I'm not a kid," Xiao Chun said with a smile. Tang Tang didn't say anything else. She didn't say that she was going to go in the evening. On the one hand, she had to open the stall until the evening. On the other hand, since Cheng Minjing and Jean Bebe were going, it was inappropriate for her to join them. In the afternoon, Xiao Chun said goodbye to Tang Tang and went back to prepare for the car race. The race at night was like a hangman banquet, but Xiao Chun had to go. Sometimes guesses were just guesses. Only when they saw it would they be sure. Coincidentally, when Xiao Chun was on his way home, he saw Lu Zhenming, who had come to deliver the car, at the entrance of the neighborhood by the Lead Hua River. "Young Master Xiao, I've maintained the car. How is it? When are we leaving?" "I'll give them a call." Xiao Chun nodded and dialed Cheng Minjing's number. He told her that he and Lu Zhenming were waiting at the gate of the residential area. This time they arrived quickly. In less than 10 minutes, Lu Zhenming's Land Rover appeared in front of them. Lu Zhenming gave the car key to Xiao Chun and was about to drive the Land Rover. Unexpectedly, Jean Bebe and Cheng Minjing got out of the car directly. Jean Bebe said, "I'm going to take the car of the rich Jean Bebe." Lu Zhenming was a little speechless. He had thought that Cheng Minjing wouldn't change cars, so he could talk to them in the car. He didn't expect that they would get out of the car as soon as they arrived. If he had known this, he wouldn't have given the car key to Xiao Chun. After he got into the Land Rover gloomily, Lu Zhenming smelled the stink of food. His car had always been well maintained. He would never put anything that smelled in the car. He did not expect that his car would end up like this after Jean Bebe drove it for one afternoon. He searched the car in a hurry, only to find a plastic bag in the trunk. He was so angry that he was about to throw it out, when he suddenly remembered that it was the bag that he had promised to pack. If he threw it out, wouldn't it be a waste? Would Cheng Minjing not like him? Helpless, Lu Zhenming could only put it back. He got into his car and followed Xiao Chun's. After Xiao Chun got into the car, he sensed that Jean Bebe's Panamera was somewhat different from before. It must be the result of careful computer adjustment in a professional car modification shop. He did not expect that Lu Zhenming would be so attentive. However, it might be more useful for others. But for Xiao Chun, who was at level 4 of the Qi refinement stage, it was almost a piece of cake for him to win the competition. Xiao Chun could not be more familiar with the road from here to Fighting Dragon Mountain. When he was the young master of the Xiao family, in order to make himself more playful, Xiao Chun often participated in such activities. However, most of the time, he went to watch the competition. He only participated in the competition once or twice. However, it was the first time for both Chung Minjing and Jean Beibei, so they were a bit curious, especially Jean Beibei. She had wanted to go for a long time, but no one took her there. She was not interested in ordinary boys, and Chung Minjing would definitely not accompany her. Therefore, she was very excited to go this time. Fighting Dragon Mountain was no longer within the boundaries of Songning City. Like Songlong Mountain, this mountain was also a nearby mountain, but it belonged to Songshan City, which was next to the city. It was said that Fighting Dragon Mountain used to be a small tourist attraction, but because the contractor could not make ends meet, it was closed a few years ago. The reason was that there were too many mountains nearby. Shuangyan Mountain, which was developed later, was more beautiful than Fighting Dragon Mountain. Even Songlong Mountain, which was developed later, would be better than Fighting Dragon Mountain after it was built. The resort was newly built, and the accommodation and dining environment were good. Naturally, no one went to Fighting Dragon Mountain anymore, and the tourist attraction of Fighting Dragon Mountain had to be closed. Chapter 144. Although the scenic spot was closed, the winding mountain road still existed, although it had been in disrepair for a long time. Some of the guardrails were gone, and the road was not in good condition. However, this road had no other purpose except to lead to the top of Fighting Dragon Mountain. The businesses that operated here had all left, who would spend money to repair the road. But even so, a nearby underworld force took a fancy to this place and developed it into a race track to run underground racing. Not to mention, the Fighting Dragon Mountain that no one cared about before was now bustling with noise and traffic on the weekends. One after the other, Xiao Chun and Lu Zhenming's car drove to the open space in front of the Bolong Mountain racetrack. The place was already filled with all kinds of cars, and the grades of the cars were also different. From the cheapest Alto to the top of the world-famous sports cars, there was everything. Next to the cars on the open space, there were also small groups of people, chatting, drinking and flirting with girls. Most of them were rich playboys from rich families. Xiao Chun used to be one of them. Although he didn't have a good impression of this playboy and playboy before, he had to associate himself with them. Xiao Chun parked his car, a Porsche Panamera and a Land Rover. Although they were luxury cars, they were not so eye-catching here, because there were many more expensive cars. However, the golden Panamera attracted a lot of attention, and they all wanted to have a look. Xiao Chun, Chung Minjing, and Jean Beibei got out of the car. Chung Minjing and Jean Beibei's beauty immediately attracted the attention of many playboys, and they all came over. "There are two pretty girls over there," Fapeshe said. "They are so beautiful. Who is that man?" Fapeshbi said, "Don't you know him? Isn't that Xiao Chun? He is the young master of the Xiao family of the 9 big families, but he has been kicked out of the Xiao family." Fapeshe said, "Then why did he bring 2 such beautiful girls with him?" Fapeshbi said, "A skinny camel is still bigger than a horse." Fapeshe said, "Shall we go over and humiliate him? I didn't dare to step on you in the past, but now I feel quite superior." Hedonistic Second said, "That's fine too. You can also get the 2 pretty girls by his side." Hedonist First said, "Are you 2 idiots? Didn't you see what was pasted on the carriage?" Hedonist Third said, "What word?" Hedonist First asked. "Tycoon Jean Beibei's car." Hedonist C said, "Jean Beibei? Who is it?" Foppish Tyrant 2 asked. Hedonist First's expression changed upon hearing this. "She's the Jean clan's little demoness? You just found out? Didn't you almost die?" Foppish Third snorted. "Motherf asterisk cur so scary, stay away from them." Hedonist First was so scared that he peed his pants. The Jean family had 2 ruthless people, the Golden Fur Lion King and Jean Beibei. Xiao Chun took out his phone and dialed Chen Jinping's number. "Little Pengzi, where are you?" "Here we are. Hurry up and pick me up. If you don't come in 10 minutes, I'll leave." Motherf asterisk cur. This Xiao Chun has been kicked out of the Xiao family, but he's still so arrogant? Why is his underling coming to pick him up when he calls? Hedonist Second asked curiously. "Who knows? I've already said that a starving camel is still bigger than a horse." Hedonist First said, "Look who it is, he's actually his underling." Hedonist third was also a little curious. After a while, he saw Chen Jinping running toward him while panting. He was really afraid that Xiaochen would turn around and leave. However, he was afraid that Xiaochen would borrow his car. So he didn't drive here. Instead, he hitched a ride with Chao Yuliang. Now that Chao Yuliang had gone to arrange the matter against Xiaochen, he couldn't find Chao Yuliang, so he could only run here. If he wasn't a martial artist, he would be exhausted from running down the winding mountain road. When Chen Jinping saw Xiaochen in the distance, he immediately shouted, "Xiaochen, I'm here." The three fops were instantly dumbfounded. Why is this Chen Jinping still Xiaochen's underling? Didn't I hear that he's already with Chao Yuliang? Or could it be that Xiaochen had turned things around again? It's really hard to explain the affairs of the aristocratic families. Luckily, they didn't go looking for trouble just now. Otherwise, even without Jin Beibei, Chen Jinping could still beat them to death. Not bad, we're here in 9 minutes. Little Peng, you're still as punctual as before. Xiaochen nodded his head in satisfaction. Haha, Xiaochen is here to race. Of course, I have to come to welcome him. Don't worry, it's all set up. 200,000 deposit. If I win, I'll get 400,000. If I lose, I'll lose 200,000. As usual, best of 5. Chen Jinping introduced. In fact, it wasn't that easy to win 200,000 in a race. Best of 5 meant that you had to race at least 3 times. And you had to win all 3 times in order to get 200,000 from your opponent. The underground racetrack didn't take any commission from the racers' bets. What they earned was the peripheral bets. Yes. Xiaochen nodded his head. Who's my opponent? I don't know yet. But Brother Liang said to try to persuade the racetrack to arrange new racers for you, so that your chances of winning will be higher. Chen Jinping said. Of course, it doesn't matter even if he's an old racer. After all, Xiaochen is the racing god. Haha, that's right. I won in my first race. Xiaochen laughed after listening. I used to think that 200,000 was too little. It was meaningless to compete in person. Otherwise, I would have become a legend long ago, Xiaochen said. That means I'll become a legend of death. Do you really think I'm stupid? That's right. When Chen Jinping saw Xiaochen's arrogant attitude, he was relieved. He was afraid that Xiaochen would shrink back after coming. Now it seemed that there was no problem. This Xiaochen is still the same as before, arrogant and proud. Now he has become greedy. Xiaochen, don't worry. I've talked to Brother Liang. You'll be the first to race. That's good. I don't have that much time. If I win the race here, I can go back to the morning market to set up my stall. Xiaochen nodded. Then I'll make the arrangements. By the way, Xiaochen, which car will you be using? Chen Jinping asked. This Panamera. Xiaochen pointed to Jin Beibei's car and said. No problem. Chen Jinping heaved a sigh of relief. This Panamera was personally remodeled by him. Although he spent a lot of money, most of the modifications were flashy and impractical. In terms of overall performance, it was a notch lower than a professional sports car. It would be a wonder if Xiaochen could win a race with this car. Moreover, the car was Jin Beibei's. If Xiaochen died, no one else could be blamed. Chen Jinping was not afraid of others, but he was afraid that the Jin family would be unhappy. After all, the Xiao family didn't care about Xiaochen anymore, neither did the Cheng family. Only the Jin family sent out an inexplicable notice. If Xiaochen died, the Jin family would be the only one who could stand up for him. Now if Xiaochen died in Jin Beibei's car, who would the Jin family blame? He nodded and went to inform Chao Yuliang happily. On the other side, Lu Zhiming didn't know Xiaochen's driving skills in the past. He thought that Xiaochen was really awesome. His family was in the underworld, so his level was not very high. Lu Zhiming had never been to an underground racetrack before. This was his first time. On the other hand, Cheng Minjing frowned. Even she could tell that there seemed to be a problem with this. Yet Xiaochen still foolishly agreed to it. She didn't know if he was really stupid or what. Sometimes he looked quite smart, but sometimes he was just a fool. When he lost money, he would cry. At this time, Cheng Minjing's phone rang. She looked at the caller ID and found it was Shen Jingxian. Hello Jingxian. Cheng Minjing answered the phone. Minjing, is there anyone around you? Shen Jingxian deliberately lowered her voice on the other side of the phone. No. Tell me. Cheng Minjing moved aside to avoid Lu Zhenming. In fact, there was a hubbub of voices nearby. It was so noisy that they couldn't hear what was said on the phone. Minjing, I heard that Xiao Chen is coming to participate in the race? Is there such a thing? Shen Jingxian asked. Yeah, how did you know? You are here too. Cheng Minjing was a little curious. I came with Chen Jinping, Shen Jingxian said. Can you persuade Xiao Chen to give up the race? Why? Cheng Minjing asked. This is the case. They helped Xiao Chen sign up for the race. In fact, it was a trap set up by him and Chao Yuliang. The driver who will compete with Xiao Chen was invited by them. His name is Li Shanpao. This person often participates in some international underground races. His participation rate is very high. You can know him just by asking around. Shen Jingxian said anxiously. So Xiao Chen can't win. It's not a big deal to lose money, but don't lose your life. This Li Shanpao is best at putting his opponents to death in racing competitions. Shen Jingxian didn't know why she called Cheng Minjing. It was reasonable to say that she and Chen Jinping were married, so she should stand on the side of Chen Jinping in the future. However, maybe she didn't like Chen Jinping. Or maybe it was because she was kind and didn't want anything to happen to Xiao Chen. What? Cheng Minjing suddenly froze. She felt that there was a problem before. But she only thought that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping wanted to cheat Xiao Chen of his money. They used gambler psychology to make Xiao Chen lose money. But she didn't think that there was a possibility of killing Xiao Chen. After a while, Cheng Minjing said, I got it. Xiao Chen, come with me for a moment. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Minjing glared at Xiao Chen angrily. However, it was inappropriate to say something in front of Lu Zhenming. She had to remind Xiao Chen alone, in case he died without knowing how he died. However, after taking 2 steps, Cheng Minjing saw that Lu Zhenming was looking at her, and wanted to follow her. She frowned and winked at Jean Beibei. Hey little Lu, where are you going? Jean Beibei stopped Lu Zhenming immediately. I'm going to see what they're talking about. Lu Zhenming didn't hide anything. Anyway, he had decided to be Cheng Minjing's gum, and stick to her wherever she went. Chapter 145. Are you stupid? Jean Beibei said. Huh? How am I stupid? Lu Zhenming was stunned. Cousin Minjing went to scold my cousin-in-law. If you want to be scolded together, go ahead. Jean Beibei said. Huh? Why did she scold me? Lu Zhenming didn't understand. She's on her period, and she's in a bad mood. Now that she's in such a noisy place, it's impossible for cousin Minjing to be happy. Jean Beibei said. But she can't scold me, can she? She can't scold you, can she? Then she can only scold my cousin-in-law. After all, he's a servant. I see. Lu Zhenming was greatly enlightened. He looked at Jean Beibei gratefully. Thank you. If he was scolded by Cheng Minjing for no reason, Lu Zhenming's mood would definitely hit rock bottom. He would definitely think that Cheng Minjing was no longer interested in him. You're welcome, Jean Beibei said. Actually, instead of giving money to my cousin-in-law, why don't you give some money to me? I can help you find information too. Did you make up my nickname? Huh? What nickname? Lu Zhenming asked. That's Spy Shu 007. No, Spy Bei 007. Jean Beibei hurriedly corrected herself. Just now, she accidentally mentioned the nickname of her favorite character in the TV series. In the School Beauties TV, her favorite character was Yushu. Yushu called herself Spy Shu 007, so Jean Beibei called herself Spy Bei 007 as well. Oh, that works too. But can I owe it to you first? I already owe Xiao Chen 200,000. Look, Lu Zhenming hurriedly said. I'll give you the money when I have it. Don't forget that you still owe me 100,000, Jean Beibei said. Yes, I can't forget. Lu Zhenming thought to himself. As long as he could catch up with Cheng Minjing, he was willing to spend more money. Where else could he find such a good goddess? She was beautiful, and had a good family background. If he could win her heart, his father might even give him tens of millions. All right, I'll help you. But don't offend my cousin-in-law. After all, he's also a servant. If he speaks ill of you, you'll be dead. Jean Beibei said. I understand. Lu Zhenming quickly nodded. By the way, can you not call him cousin-in-law? It sounds so awkward to me. You can't change your habit, Jean Bebe said. All right, if you are so troublesome, don't come to me for help. Well, it's fine. You can call him whatever you want, Lu Zhenming said hurriedly. While Jean Bebe and Lu Zhenming were wasting time talking nonsense, Cheng Minjing brought Xiao Chun to an empty corner. What's wrong? Xiao Chun looked at the young lady, who was staring at him angrily, and felt a little guilty. Hey, do you know that Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping are working together to set you up? Cheng Minjing said resentfully. What are you thinking? Can you believe what they say? My driving skills are not bad. You and Bebe know that too. Xiao Chun shrugged. It's not about your driving skills. Cheng Minjing immediately became anxious. Do you know who Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping invited? They invited a racer from an international illegal car race. His name is Li Shanpao. I heard that he's very good and specializes in killing his opponents in the middle of the race. Are you courting death? Li Shanpao. Although Xiao Chun had never heard of this name, he suddenly understood. As expected, Chao Yuliang must be that guy. Has he been trying to kill me all along? But why? Is it because of Cheng Minjing? Xiao Chun knew that Chao Yuliang liked Cheng Minjing. However, he was Cheng Minjing's fiancé in the past. It was still reasonable for Chao Yuliang to kill him. Now that he was no longer her fiancé, was there still a need for him to do so? Okay, don't worry about it. Don't go to the race. Do you hear me? Cheng Minjing glared at Xiao Chun. I don't want my servant to die without food. Hee, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll be fine. Xiao Chun smiled. If it were an ordinary person in the past, then Xiao Chun would definitely retreat. But now he was a powerful cultivator, at the 4th level of the Qi refinement stage. What was there to be afraid of? Kill me in the race. I can still kill him. Who isn't good at it? Once the cultivators appeared, who could compete with them? You. Cheng Minjing was stunned by Xiao Chun's words. Are you sick? Do you want to die? You. If you die in my hands, how can I face Uncle Xiao Feng in the future? I really won't die. Xiao Chun smiled. It's not certain who will die. Minjing, you should believe me. When have I ever lied to you? Humph. You don't know how many things I don't know about you. Cheng Minjing snorted coldly. Okay, I've already agreed. Getting cold feet isn't my style. Besides, how do you know about Li Shanpao? Xiao Chun asked. Of course, Jingxian called me and told me. Let me tell you. Luckily Jingxian has a good heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know how you died. Cheng Minjing said angrily. I got it. Let's go back. The race is about to start. Xiao Chun didn't explain much. Some things couldn't be explained even if he explained. What's more, in addition to investigating the real culprit behind the scenes, Xiao Chun was really short of money. Tonight, he had to buy medicine again. God knows how much this new medicine would cost. Whether the 75 million yuan in his hands would be enough was another question. You. Looking at Xiao Chun turning around and leaving, Miss stomped her feet angrily. You. Go to hell. I'm really nosy. At this time, an Audi A6L drove to the place where Xiao Chun parked before. Soon, the car stopped, and Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinping, and Shen Jingxian came out from inside. Chao Yuliang's face still had some injuries from being beaten up by Lu Zhenming. At a glance, he saw Lu Zhenming not far away and frowned. He already knew who this person was. The young master of the Lu family, Lu Zhenming. However, Chao Yuliang's face was extremely gloomy, because he had just received a call from the Chao family, telling him that the martial arts dojo that the Chao family had just invested in was destroyed by the Chao family. The people who destroyed the dojo were all martial artists. After destroying it, they even clamored that it was their young master, Lu Zhenming's idea. Therefore, at this moment, when he saw Lu Zhenming, if it wasn't for his high tolerance, Chao Yuliang would have gone up to beat him up directly. Is there something wrong with this guy? Has he always been going against me? Did I provoke him? However, after thinking about it carefully, Chao Yuliang also thought about it. This Lu Zhenming also pursued Cheng Minjing. Could it be because of Cheng Minjing? Thinking about it, there was only one reason. Otherwise, what kind of relationship could I have with him? As soon as he thought of this, Chao Yuliang's mood was very bad. Although the Liu family wasn't as good as the Chao family, the family generally wouldn't intervene in the fight between the younger generation, as long as no one died. Adversity produced talents. Only with competition could one grow. If the family's children always had it easy, how could they take over the family in the future? Isn't this young Master Liu? He very good, very good. I, Chao Yuliang, have never suffered such a loss since I was young. I'll remember you. As soon as Chao Yuliang came up, he walked in front of Lu Zhenming and said in a gloomy tone. This was also his character on the surface. He was the same as the previous Xiao Chun, arrogant and insolent. He couldn't hide anything, and had to be quick with his words. Who are you? Lu Zhenming took a closer look, and immediately recognized the person in front of him. He reached out and slapped him. With a crisp paw sound, half of Chao Yuliang's face swelled up again. It's you, kid. Why? You want to do bad things to Qing Minjing again? I'm telling you, don't act tough in front of me. If you want to talk about acting tough, I'm your ancestor. You're still too inexperienced to play dirty with me. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and *CK off. Don't be an eyesore here. Chao Yuliang was about to explode. He almost revealed his peak level 3 martial artist inner force. However, Xiao Chun and Qing Minjing were there. He naturally couldn't expose his strength. He could only endure it. Lu Zhenming, you remember me. I'm the Chao family's Chao Yuliang. Oh, Chao family? Chao Yuliang? This time, Lu Zhenming finally remembered who the kid in front of him was. He naturally knew about the Chao family. It was also one of the 4 big and 5 small families in Songning City. And this person was actually a child of the Chao family? Humph. Today, you let people sweep my family's martial arts school. Very well, very well. We have the chance to fight. Chao Yuliang glared at Lu Zhenming fiercely. Are you pretending? Still pretending not to know me? You don't know me, but you let people sweep my Chao family's martial arts school? Who are you trying to fool? The martial arts school belongs to a dumb *SS like you. Although Lu Zhenming had heard of Chao Yuliang, he wasn't afraid of him at the moment. Even if the Liu family was weak, they were still involved in the underworld. Although their level was low, their strength wasn't weak. Between the families, as long as there wasn't a big conflict, who would risk their lives like Golden Fur Lion King? Very well. Chao Yuliang was really angry today. This Lu Zhenming seemed to be determined to go against him. If that's the case, then let's see who can win the beauty. Up to you, Lu Zhenming thought to himself. Do you have such superior conditions? I have Xiao Chun to inform me, and I have the spy, Bei 007. What do you have? Brother Liang. Chun Jinping quickly tugged at Chao Yuliang's sleeves when he saw that the two of them were at loggerheads. He signaled to Chao Yuliang not to be impulsive and forget about the important matter at hand. I don't want to talk to a lowly person like you. Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and turned to Xiao Chun. He nodded and said, Xiao Chun, it's all arranged. It's a newcomer who will compete with you. He has never competed in Fighting Dragon Mountain. If you win the competition, remember my kindness in the future. We used to compete, but now the competition doesn't exist anymore. I will trouble you to take care of Qing Minjing's matter. Regardless of whether Chao Yuliang was sincere or not, at least he could see that Lu Zhenming fawned on Xiao Chun. It seemed that he wanted Xiao Chun to help him pursue Qing Minjing. Otherwise, Chao Yuliang really couldn't think of why Lu Zhenming would help Xiao Chun again and again. Chapter 146. No problem. I'll help whoever pays me. Xiao Chun pretended to be a money grubber. Qing Minjing was almost driven mad in the back. Is this guy an idiot? You'll help them pursue me if they pay you? Do you have any shame at all? You used to be my fiancé, alright? Was there such a shameless thing in the world? Let's go to the stadium now. The first match is ours. Chao Yuliang said. Just drive to the check-in area. The match is about to begin. You don't need to get out of the car. Okay. Beibei, you can take Lu Zhenming's car later, Xiao Chun said to Jean Beibei. Alright. Jean Beibei knew what was important and what was not. Although she wanted to join in the fun, watching the live broadcast was equally exciting. She was afraid that she would distract Xiao Chun if she got in the car. Shen Jingxian looked at Qing Minjing and did not say anything. Qing Minjing gave her a helpless look and said in a low voice, Some people don't like me. He won't believe me even if I tell him. Why don't you talk to him? Me. Shen Jingxian smiled bitterly and shook her head. Based on the few times she had spent with Xiao Chun, she did not think that Xiao Chun was an idiot. Not only was he not an idiot, he was also very assertive. If Xiao Chun had not pursued her brainlessly, it would have been difficult for her to connect the Xiao Chun from that night with the Xiao Chun in the past. They were like two different people. Therefore, Shen Jingxian did not think that Xiao Chun would listen to her just because he liked her in the past. On the contrary, if Xiao Chun really did not care about Cheng Minjing, he would not have worked as her servant. At this moment, Xiao Chun had gotten into the Panamera, and Jin Beibei had gotten into Lu Zhiming's car. Shen Jingxian waved her hand at Cheng Minjing and said, "I'm going. You, think of something else." "Where can I think of something?" Cheng Minjing stamped her feet anxiously. Seeing that Xiao Chun had started the car, Cheng Minjing was anxious. She walked over, opened the door of the Panamera, and got in. "What are you doing in the car?" Xiao Chun was stunned when he saw his mistress buckling her seatbelt after getting into the car. "Hurry up and start the car," Cheng Minjing said fiercely. Xiao Chun was stunned, and an indescribable feeling of gratitude welled up in his heart. Although my mistress is usually fierce to me, she cares about me most at the critical moment. She is really a good person. Why didn't I cherish her before? Xiao Chun was a little regretful. At this critical moment, Cheng Minjing had no way to persuade Xiao Chun. She could only get into the car by herself. In this way, even if Qiao Yuliang had any evil thoughts, he had to put them away. At most, Xiao Chun would lose the competition, but he would never let Li Xiaopao kill Xiao Chun. Naturally, Xiao Chun understood Cheng Minjing's idea very soon. He did not refuse her kindness. With the cultivation of level 4 qi refining stage, it shouldn't be a problem to protect a person with all his strength. It was just that he didn't know if there would be a problem. After starting the car, Xiao Chun followed Lu Zhiming's Land Rover. In the rearview mirror, Qiao Yuliang saw that Cheng Minjing actually got into Cheng Minjing's car. His face suddenly turned gloomy. What was Cheng Minjing doing in the car? Could it be that she had never participated in a car race before, and was curious to play? Only Shen Jingshuan's eyes flashed a trace of undetectable strangeness on her calm face. She understood what Cheng Minjing wanted to do, but Shen Jingxian really couldn't figure out. Since when did Xiao Chun occupy such an important position in Cheng Minjing's heart? She actually put herself in danger? Or was she sure that Qiao Yuliang would be afraid because of her? However, looking at Qiao Yuliang's face, it should be so. Chen Jinping was also a little stunned. Just when he wanted to say something, he was stopped by Qiao Yuliang. "Jinping, drive." This time, Qiao Yuliang sat in the front passenger seat and let Chen Jinping drive. "Oh, okay." Chen Jinping nodded, started the car, and drove in the direction of the racetrack. Several cars came to the vicinity of the Bolong Mountain racetrack. The race was divided into 3 rounds. The first round was a speed race. The racetrack was a lap around the bottom of Bolong Mountain. It was similar to the F1 racetrack. Although it was a little curved, it was straight and flat without many rugged roads. This was actually a competition of skills when turning. The one who didn't slow down would have a greater chance of winning in the end. Xiao Chun parked his car at the starting point of the racetrack, while Lu Zhiming and Qiao Yuliang's cars were parked in the parking lot of the auditorium. "Jin Beibei, why did Goddess Minjing get in Xiao Chun's car?" Lu Zhiming had wanted to watch the race with Cheng Minjing, but unexpectedly, Cheng Minjing got in his car. "I don't know. Maybe it's because she has never participated in a racing competition before. Maybe she decided to take a look on a whim?" Jin Beibei was also a little puzzled as to why Cheng Minjing would suddenly participate in a race with Xiao Chun. "Oh, I see. Nothing bad will happen to her, right?" He was not worried that something would happen to Xiao Chun and Cheng Minjing. If something could happen between them, it would have happened in the villa. Why did they have to do it in the car? Besides, if they wanted to have car sex in a race, they would definitely die early. "Didn't you think that my cousin-in-law's driving skills were good, and that he would definitely win? Don't you have confidence in yourself?" Jin Beibei asked. "That's impossible." Lu Zhiming shook his head in a hurry. "Fine. Let's just watch the race." Take a seat first. I'll go get some water. Chao Yuliang took a deep breath and said to Chen Jinping and Xin Jingxian, who were already sitting in the auditorium. Then he stood up and walked to the parking lot. He found a place where nobody was around and dialed a number. Mr. Chao, what can I do for you? I've made a plan. Just watch my performance in the race. The racer Li Shanpao's voice came from the phone. Mr. Li, forget about the first race. Postpone the plan. Chao Yuliang said. Just focus on the first race. Don't touch him. It won't be good if something goes wrong in the first race. Oh, okay. I got it. Li Shanpao didn't question him. After all, Chao Yuliang was the one who paid for the race. He would do whatever he was told to do. It's not easy to cause a car accident on the track of the first race. If I have to cause a car accident, it will be too obvious that it was caused by someone. I don't want to get into trouble. Okay. Wait for my news, Chao Yuliang said with a nod. After hanging up the phone, Chao Yuliang heaved a sigh of relief. The person he wanted to kill was Xiao Chen, not Cheng Minjing. If Cheng Minjing died, then wouldn't he have put up such a show for nothing? However, since there was a change in the plan, he had to inform the person in charge of the racetrack and continue to arrange for the next race. He had thought that Xiao Chen would die in the first race. Walking to the first VIP room not far away, Chao Yuliang said, Brother Xiaochun, it's me. There's a change in the situation. The person in charge of the racetrack was called Huang Yang, nicknamed Huang Xiaochun. He was a small leader of a gang in Songshan. Although he couldn't control the affairs of Songshan, he didn't dare to be arrogant in front of Chao Yuliang. He quickly released the girl in his arms and stood up. He smiled at Chao Yuliang and said, So it's young Master Chao. What's wrong? Isn't it the one who killed your opponent in the race? Don't mention it. The lady I'm pursuing is in the car. I can only give up this race. Chao Yuliang shook his head and didn't hide it. If he wanted to do something to the racetrack, he had to go through Huang Xiaochun. Haha, young Master Chao. Even heroes have a weakness for the charms of a beauty. But as a man, I really like this little sister of mine. Maybe I'll marry her. Huang Xiaochun laughed and said to the girl from before, Lei Lei, aren't you going to greet your teammate? Hello, young Master Chao. The girl called Lei Lei lowered her head and carefully greeted Chao Yuliang. Chao Yuliang didn't mind. He nodded and said, All right, Brother Xiaochun, I'll go back first. We'll talk about the next race later. No problem. Huang Xiaochun nodded. On the other side of the racetrack, the music for the preparation started. The race was about to begin. Contestants for the first race, song TTT 777 and song 741741. Both racers, please get ready. Along with the music, the commentator's voice came from the speakers. This was a necessary procedure before the race. Contestants, please get in position. What the hell is this car number? Cheng Minjing frowned. This was obviously a fake car number. How could there be a car with a song number starting with 7? How infuriating. Xiao Chen glanced at the car number and read, Infuriate yourself, infuriate yourself. Hee. It's hard to say who will be infuriated. If you get in the car, Chao Yuliang will be the first to die. Humph. You know? When Cheng Minjing heard Xiao Chen's words, she rolled her eyes and said, You have to obey my orders from now on. Take care of me, treat me well, be a qualified servant, and treat me like my savior. It's always been like this. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. It has to be better, Cheng Minjing said. Hee okay. Xiao Chen nodded. The opponent's car was relatively rare. It was a modified Mitsubishi car. However, the people who came to race actually knew that the brand of the car wasn't that important in this race. The most important thing was the modification. Who knew how to modify it? Even a car that cost tens of thousands of yuan could be driven like a plane. Looking at the driver of the car, that person didn't look at Xiao Chen, but focused on preparing. This was the usual reaction of a rookie. Generally, a rookie would be so nervous. However, Xiao Chen knew that this was all on the surface. This Li Shanpao deliberately pretended to be like this. In fact, this person was a professional racer. However, Xiao Chen didn't expose him. He just smiled at him indifferently. Li Shanpao seemed to be overwhelmed by Xiao Chen's smile. He smiled shyly. If one didn't know better, they would think that he was a rookie. Chapter 147. Cheng Minjing was a little angry. She opened the car window and snorted at Li Xiaopao. Humph! I know you. Aren't you called Li Xiaopao? A professional racer came here to compete. Don't you feel ashamed? Li Xiaopao was slightly stunned. A touch of suspicion flashed through his eyes. He frowned casually and lowered his head. He didn't look at Xiao Chen anymore, as if it had nothing to do with him no matter what they did. In fact, Cheng Minjing was not acting on impulse. The meaning of her words was very simple. She was warning Li Xiaopao that she had already seen through him. If anything went wrong in the race, the Cheng family was not just for show. Xiao Chen shook his head. He knew that the first miss meant well, so he didn't remind her. In fact, although the Cheng family seemed to be very big and powerful, it was only limited to Songning City. At most, it had a lot of influence in the province. But when it came to the Xia Kingdom and the entire international society, it didn't have much influence. This Li Xiaopao often participated in international illegal car races, and the Cheng family's influence on him was minimal. Moreover, he was hired by Chao Yuliang. If he was afraid of other aristocratic families, he wouldn't have come. Hey, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? Seeing that Li Xiaopao ignored her, Cheng Minjing was a little angry. Little girl, don't talk nonsense. Trouble comes from the mouth. Li Xiaopao was also a ruthless person. No one who participated in illegal car races was easy to deal with. Lu Zhenming was bored sitting there, so he decided to come over with Jean Beibei to see Cheng Minjing. Anyway, the race hadn't officially started yet. However, as soon as he walked to the car, he heard Li Xiaopao threatening Cheng Minjing in the car. Lu Zhenming was angry at once. He directly rushed over and knocked on the car door with his hand. Little bastard! Get out of the car! Who are you scolding? Are you pretending? Do you know who likes her? Li Xiaopao didn't expect that his casual threat would attract such a guy. He frowned and was about to close the car window. However, they did not expect Lu Zhenming to reach out and block the rising window. Li Xiaopao sneered in his heart. You dare to use your hands to block the electric window? My car window doesn't have an anti-pinching function. Just you wait to cry. However, what he didn't expect was that with the sound of gears dislocating, the rising window was directly pressed down by Lu Zhenming. He was a master of inner force. Although he had not reached the level of a martial artist, the strength of the car window could not do anything to him. You dare to clamp me? Get out of my car. Lu Zhenming yanked open the car door and pulled Li Xiaopao out. He kicked Li Xiaopao a few times and made him fall to the ground. Chao Yuliang had just left Huang Xiaochen's place when he saw Lu Zhenming beating up his racer. He immediately became anxious. He hurriedly returned and said, "This is bad, big bro Xiaochun. Someone is causing trouble in the garage and is beating up my driver." What? Someone dares to cause trouble in my Huang Xiaochun's garage? I'll go and see. Huang Xiaochun received benefits from Chao Yuliang, so he was also very active. He followed Chao Yuliang and ran out. However, when he saw who was beating up his driver, he suddenly frowned. Although Lu Zhenming had never come to Fighting Dragon Mountain to play, he was the leader of the small racetrack here. Huang Xiaochun had long since obtained the information of the famous young masters in the area. He knew exactly what kind of person Lu Zhenming was. This was the young master of the Lu family gang in Songning City. The Lu family gang and the gang that he belonged to also had a cooperative relationship. So Huang Xiaochun really didn't dare to do anything to Lu Zhenming. He could only run over and persuade. Young Master Lu, please calm down. If you beat up this person, then the race can't continue, right? Lu Zhenming turned his head and looked at Huang Xiaochun. Who are you? I'm the person in charge here, Huang Xiaochun. Young Master Lu, please give me some face. Huang Xiaochun didn't dare to force it, even though Chao Yuliang was watching over there. Okay, young Master Lu, that's enough. Xiaochun spoke at this time. Even if this person was beaten to death, Chao Yuliang would still arrange for other racers. It didn't make much sense. Okay, I'll listen to Xiaochun. Lu Zhenming nodded and stopped. He pointed to Li Xiaopao on the ground and said, Kid, I'm telling you, if you continue to act pretentious in front of me, I'll let you go out lying down. After that, Lu Zhenming turned around and returned to the auditorium, because the preparatory music for the race was already playing in the stadium. The race was about to begin. Lu Zhenming deliberately made himself look cool in order to leave a good impression on Cheng Minjing. If he went to ask for credit after beating up someone, it would be like what Jean Bebe said. Cheng Minjing hated such people the most. Are you all right? Seeing that Lu Zhenming had left, Chao Yuliang glanced at Li Shanpao. I'm sorry. That person is our friend. He's a little hot-tempered. He's a hot-tempered king. Don't take it to heart. Chao Yuliang's words seemed to have nothing to do with Li Shanpao, and he was just concerned about him as a fellow racer. However, he was also testing whether Li Shanpao could race. I'm all right. In fact, Li Shanpao was also a master of inner strength. However, he was a little stunned after being beaten by Lu Zhenming. They were all superficial wounds, which would not affect his racing. I'm sorry. I'm leaving now. Chao Yuliang nodded to him and then said to Xiao Chun, Xiao Chun, come on. Their racer is injured. If you lose again, it will be too embarrassing. Haha, of course. Xiao Chun laughed and said, don't worry. I'm sure I'll win. Although Xiao Chun said so, he sneered in his heart. Chao Yuliang was really good at finding opportunities. Li Shanpao was injured. If something happened to Xiao Chun, he could only blame himself for being too weak. After Chao Yuliang and Huang Xiaochun left, the race was about to begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sound of the countdown of the race came from the loudspeaker in the stadium. At the same time the number 1 was shouted, the referee also waved the small flag in his hand. Li Shanpao quickly shifted gears and stepped on the accelerator. The Mitsubishi was like a sharp sword. Boom! It rushed out. Looking at Xiao Chen's side, he hadn't started his car yet. Hey, what are you doing? Cheng Minjing was a little anxious. Xiao Chen, why don't you drive? I'm preparing. Xiao Chen smiled and said, it's not fat to be fat first. The fat later will overwhelm the Kong. What nonsense are you talking about? If you don't drive, just admit defeat. Cheng Minjing thought that Xiao Chen was afraid, but he insisted on participating in the race because he wanted to save face. Hee. Xiao Chen started the car, and the Panamera also quickly sped out. However, the Mitsubishi was in front. It had already driven for a few hundred meters. It was obvious that there was a gap between it and Xiao Chen. Although this racetrack wasn't as dangerous as the mountain road, because the Fighting Dragon Mountain wasn't a regular shape, the road below naturally had bends and curves. It was very fast. Therefore, even if Li Shanpao's driving skills were good, he didn't dare to keep stepping on the accelerator. That was purely courting death. But even so, the speed of the Mitsubishi was maintained at 170 to 80 miles per hour. On this road that wasn't a professional racetrack, it was already very rare. However, although Li Shanpao's speed was fast, Xiao Chen's speed was faster. Xiao Chen's foot hadn't stepped on the brake since he started the car. In the small bends, Xiao Chen relied on his precise operation skills to pass the corners smoothly. In the big bends, Xiao Chen pulled the handbrake and performed a small drift with the steering wheel. Therefore, in the blink of an eye, the Panamera caught up with the Mitsubishi. For his own driving skills, Xiao Chen didn't mind exposing them. This had nothing to do with strength. If he revealed it, he wouldn't be hated by others. A prodigal young master. Even if he drove a car like a spaceship, if he didn't have martial strength, he could only be defined as a loafer in the aristocratic families. Cheng Minjing was scared by Xiao Chen. She didn't expect Xiao Chen's speed to be so fast. When he was passing the corners, the car had a feeling that it was flying. Why are you so fast? Are you courting death? Cheng Minjing was anxious. It's nothing. Xiao Chen shook his head because he could see that the Mitsubishi in front was also a master. Li Shanpao saw the performance of Xiao Chen's Panamera from the rearview mirror, and he was shocked. Previously, he didn't put Xiao Chen in his eyes at all, so he didn't use too many skills when he was driving. In fact, he could do what Xiao Chen did. However, that was in some international professional competitions. He would only concentrate on such precise drifting calculations. This time he didn't take it seriously. He didn't study the track beforehand. Therefore, if he were to drift like this with Xiao Chen, it would undoubtedly be very dangerous. It was equivalent to courting death. Li Shanpao regretted it a little. When Chao Yuliang looked for him, he didn't take it seriously. A dignified international underground racing champion came to a small place like Bolong Mountain to race. How could he take it seriously? He could win easily. However, Li Shanpao didn't expect that Xiao Chen was also a master. This person's control of the Panamera had reached the realm of being one with the car. This was the highest realm in a racing competition. Although Li Shanpao's Mitsubishi was also modified, it wasn't Li Shanpao's car. It was a car that he randomly found in Chao Yuliang's garage. He felt that it was a waste of a car to use his own car in this kind of competition. Motherf ***, I underestimated my opponent. Li Shanpao cursed in his heart. Although in this competition, according to Chao Yuliang's intention, he wouldn't make a move on Xiao Chen for the time being. However, if he lost, it would be a disgrace in Li Shanpao's racing career. Without a choice, Li Shanpao could only keep accelerating and accelerating. Although the Mitsubishi was a modified car, it was Li Shanpao's first day driving it. He was unfamiliar with the track. How could he perform to the fullest? Not long after, Xiao Chen's Panamera passed him with a swoosh. TSK what? It's just as though. It's not as good as my driver. Cheng Minjing looked at the Mitsubishi behind her with contempt. She had trained when she was a child. Although she wasn't a martial artist, her adaptability was still very strong. Therefore, she was used to it. She didn't feel that the speed was too fast. She even felt that it was very exciting. Chapter 148. See, I told you he could win. Xiao Chen nodded. You didn't lie to me. Otherwise, I would have taught you a lesson. Cheng Minjing nodded. Hurry up. Hurry up. Li Shanpao was a little anxious. He had really misjudged him. How could this guy be a foppish young master? Even the racers in international competitions were not as good as him. However, in Li Shanpao's opinion, Xiao Chen had the advantage of the car and the racetrack, which were familiar to him. It was reasonable for him to perform so well. In fact, Xiao Chen had not performed well at all. He could have gone faster, but he was afraid that Cheng Minjing would not have been able to take it. What's the point of having a good car? Li Shanpao gnashed his teeth in anger. He held the steering wheel tightly, but there was nothing he could do. His car was not as good as Qin Haodong's, and he was not as familiar with the racetrack as Qin Haodong's. The expert knew the ropes, while the layman just enjoyed the show. In fact, in this underground racetrack, no one, including Huang Xiaochen himself, knew much about racing. They were all laymen, and they just enjoyed the show. Moreover, Xiao Chen and Li Shanpao had gone far away. The live stream could not see their situation at all. After all, this was not a professional racetrack, and it was impossible to broadcast it live or take aerial shots. The only way to judge the racing was that there were two virtual car patterns on the big screen, one in red and the other in blue, which were two GPS systems installed on Xiao Chen's and Li Shanpao's cars respectively. Through these GPS systems, the audience could judge the outcome of the race. Therefore, whether Xiao Chen had drifted or not, the audience could not see it at all. The only thing they could see was that he had overtaken Li Shanpao. Wow, my cousin-in-law is so awesome. He has overtaken me successfully. Looking at the screen of the live stream, Jean Bebe waved her hands and shouted. Chao Yuliang did not pay much attention to it. He thought that Li Shanpao had received his order to deliberately go easy on Xiao Chen in the first round, in order to cultivate Xiao Chen's arrogance, so that he could defeat Xiao Chen in the next race. Yeah, I knew it. I helped him apply for a newcomer. With Xiao Chen's driving skills, he will definitely win. Chao Yuliang said lightly. Well, I'm a little hungry. I'll go buy something to eat. Lu Zhenming didn't find it interesting, and he and Jean Bebe didn't have anything in common. Therefore, he wanted to go to the dining car to buy something. Huang Xiaochun also ran a lot of other businesses in the racetrack. In addition to gambling, he also sold drinks, food, cigarettes, and alcohol, which brought him a lot of money. Little Lu, don't you still have a board? Jean Bebe reminded him. Ah yes. Lu Zhenming slapped the back of his head and nodded with a pained expression. I'll go get it now. Lu Zhenming walked to his car and took the board noodles that he hadn't finished in the morning. He was about to eat it. Qiao Yuliang glanced at him and was instantly amused. Lu Zhenming, your hobby is really special. The noodles are all stuck together, and you still want to eat it? What? I like this kind of food. I won't eat it if it's not sticky. After saying that, Lu Zhenming ate it with big mouthfuls. I like to eat it. What are you going to do about it? Qiao Yuliang wanted to say something sarcastic to Lu Zhenming, but Qiao Yuliang couldn't do anything about this guy's ignorance. He could only shut up. The board noodles were cold. Although it tasted bad, it wasn't as spicy as before. Plus, Lu Zhenming was really hungry, so he finished it in a few bites and burped. Delicious. At the racetrack, what Qiao Yuliang didn't know was that Li Shanpao was furious. No matter how hard he sped up, he couldn't catch up with Xiao Chun. He had no choice but to drift at the corners. However, in his situation, he would be digging his own grave if he went on like this. He wouldn't die if he didn't dig his own grave. As expected, when he was making a sharp turn, Li Shanpao didn't see clearly and miscalculated. He had to brake and turn the steering wheel. Even so, his Mitsubishi still crashed into the fence on the roadside and crashed into the field next to it. Although he was fine, his car was stuck in the mud of the field. It was impossible for him to get out in a short time. F***CK. Li Shanpao was a little discouraged when he realized that he had no hope of catching up. This was a humiliation for him. Fortunately, few people in this race knew him. Moreover, he could totally tell Qiao Yuliang that he lost because his car was not good enough. Thinking of this, Li Shanpao felt a little better. He got out of the car and pushed it hard, intending to push it back to the road. Why did the car with the license plate number 741741 stop? Jean Bebe pointed at the big screen curiously. Maybe there's something wrong with the car. Qiao Yuliang thought that Li Shanpao deliberately gave in to Xiao Chun, so he didn't care about it at all. Oh, then my cousin-in-law won. Jean Bebe nodded after listening. When Xiao Chun ran a lap and crossed the finish line, the Mitsubishi behind him was still nowhere to be seen. However, there was no doubt that this race was Xiao Chun's victory. Although this was Xiao Chun's racetrack, and Qiao Yuliang had informed him beforehand, Xiao Chun's victory was his victory. No one could lie through their eyes. Panasonic TTD777 won this race. The voice of Xiao Chun's victory came from the loudspeaker. See, I said he could win, didn't I? Xiao Chun said. Humph, that Li Shanpao is too weak. Cheng Minjing said. He can't even drive his own car well. He drove into the mud. How could such a racer be famous internationally? High participation rate? Why didn't he die? Qiao Yuliang must be bragging. Hee, that's right. That's why I said there's no need to be afraid, Xiao Chun said with a smile. In fact, Xiao Chun knew that if it wasn't for his constant drifting that made Li Shanpao anxious, he wouldn't have been in such a hurry to catch up with him, and accidentally drove into the quagmire. Jean Bebe ran over and congratulated him. Wow, my cousin-in-law is so awesome. He really is a transformer or an Autobot. In fact, I have to thank Lu Zhenming. If he hadn't modified the car with a mechanical handbrake, it would have been difficult for me to drift. Xiao Chun pushed Lu Zhenming out. This car has been modified very well. Young Master Lu is the greatest contributor. The Panamera's handbrake was an electronic handbrake. It was barely possible for it to drift. Most professional racers would modify a mechanical handbrake, which was common sense for racers. Lu Zhenming had found a professional modification factory to modify the car. In fact, he didn't even know what part of the car he modified. All he cared about was paying for it. Hearing Xiao Chun's compliment, Lu Zhenming was immediately overjoyed. He thought that Xiao Chun was intentionally praising him in front of Cheng Minjing. He was very happy. Haha, isn't this what I should do? Looking at Xiao Chun's arrogant face, Qiao Yuliang sneered in his heart. I let you win once, and you really think you are awesome? However, he said on the surface, Xiao Chun, shouldn't you thank me this time? If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been able to race here. That's true. When I completely win this race, I will definitely thank your 8 generations of ancestors. Xiao Chun smiled faintly. Qiao Yuliang's face was stiff. Why does Xiao Chun's words sound so awkward? Thank 8 generations of ancestors? At this time, Li Shanpao's Mitsubishi car arrived late. The car was full of scratches and mud. It was as embarrassing as one could imagine. Originally, Li Shanpao wanted to say that he deliberately gave in to Xiao Chun, but the scratches and mud on the car were too obvious. He couldn't deny it even if he wanted to. Seeing Li Shanpao's car, Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. What's going on? Could it be that he drove into a ditch? However, although there were doubts in his heart, Chao Yuliang didn't ask on the surface. He chatted with Xiao Chun for a while and left. After finding a place with no one, he dialed Li Shanpao's phone. Young Master Chao, the opponent's car has been professionally modified and tuned. It is very suitable for this kind of track and drifting. My car isn't good. It's not an opponent at all. Its flexibility and control are not as strong as the opponent's. I accidentally drifted into the ditch on the side, Li Shanpao said. What? You didn't deliberately give in to him? Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. I didn't kill him, but I didn't have to give in to him, right? Li Shanpao smiled bitterly. The opponent's car is really good. However, Li Shanpao also pushed the blame to Xiao Chun's car. He didn't say that Xiao Chun won because of his good skills. As expected. I got it. What are you going to do in the next round? Chao Yuliang was very upset. Motherf asterisk Ker. It's Lu Zhiming again. This car was modified by Lu Zhiming for Xiao Chun. Were you sent by the heavens to deliberately oppose me? Why do you always target me? Why? Why? I have asked my junior Lin Chao to drive my personal car over. I will use my car to compete with him, Li Shanpao said. That's good. Chao Yuliang nodded and said, in the next round, you will be racing on the mountain road. It should be easier to kill Xiao Chun. I understand, Li Shanpao said. Soon Li Shanpao's personal car was sent back. This car was a Ford GT 500. In the circle of aristocrats, it wasn't a very popular car. Many people hadn't even heard of it. However, Li Shanpao loved this car very much. This Ford GT 500 was also modified to the extreme by him. The contestants for the second race, Song TTT 777 and Song 741741. Please get ready. The venue for the second race will be changed to the mountain section. Along with the sound of the music, the commentator's voice could be heard from the speakers. Xiao Chun raised his head and took a look at the winding mountain path that circled around the Fighting Dragon Mountain. He took a deep breath. This racetrack was different from the previous racetrack. This was a really dangerous place. Although there was a guardrail on the side of the mountain road, in fact, with the speed of the car, the guardrail was almost completely useless. For this race, I will do it myself. Xiao Chun looked at Cheng Minjing in the front passenger seat. It's too dangerous. You should get off. Chapter 149. How dare you look down on me? Let me tell you, I'm much braver than you are. Cheng Minjing snorted and said, start the car now. All right. Seeing Cheng Minjing's reaction, Xiao Chun knew that it was useless to persuade her, so he could only start the car. Li Shanpao changed to the Ford GT 500 and drove to the starting point of the Panshan racetrack. Seeing that Cheng Minjing did not get out of the car, Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Then he said to Jin Beibei, Jin Beibei, ask Minjing to get out of the car. The Panshan racetrack is different from the racetrack below. It's easy to get carsick if the car is too fast. Those who are not used to racing will not be able to stand it. Is that so? Jin Beibei was not interested. Cheng Minjing and Xiao Chun were both in the car, and Lu Zhiming was the only one left. She did not even have anyone to talk to. After thinking for a while, she called Cheng Minjing. What's up, Beibei? Cheng Minjing picked up the phone. Are you still in my cousin-in-law's car? Are you coming down to accompany me? Asked Jin Beibei. No, I'm fine here, said Cheng Minjing. But Chao Yuliang said that the Panshan racetrack is different from the regular racetrack. It's easy to get carsick, said Jin Beibei. Did Chao Yuliang ask you to call me? Asked Cheng Minjing. Yes, said Jin Beibei. Then I can't go down. All right. That's all, Beibei. After saying that, Cheng Minjing hung up the phone first, because the race was about to begin. Holding the phone, Jin Beibei was slightly stunned. She looked at Chao Yuliang's expectant eyes, deep in thought. How is it, Bebe? Is Minjing coming down? Asked Xiao Yuliang in a hurry after she finished the call. No, cousin Minjing might like to pursue the feeling of speed. She has fallen in love with racing. Jean Bebe said. Ah. After hearing Jean Bebe's words, Xiao Yuliang's eyebrows furrowed tightly. He was ready to kill Xiao Chun in this game, but he didn't expect that Cheng Minjing was still in Xiao Chen's car. How was he supposed to make a move? Although he really wanted to pull Cheng Minjing down personally, he couldn't do that. It was impossible for Cheng Minjing to listen to him. Moreover, if he did so, wouldn't he expose his purpose? Thinking of this, he had no choice but to send a message to Li Shanpao. Cancel the plan. You just have to win this match. Okay. Not long after, Li Shanpao replied. For Li Shanpao, he would do whatever Xiao Yuliang asked him to do. After all, he was his employer. It didn't matter if he still got the commission for each game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The sound of the countdown for the second match came from the loudspeaker in the stadium. At the same time the number 1 was shouted, the referee also waved the small flag in his hand. Li Shanpao changed to his own car this time. His driving proficiency and compatibility were much better than the Mitsubishi before. He started the car quickly and rushed out. Since he didn't need to kill Xiao Chun, his purpose was to win. He didn't need to be distracted to plan an accident to kill Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun started the car and followed closely. Although Xiao Chun's speed wasn't slow, he didn't overtake the car. Because the winding mountain road was full of turns, and the road was narrow, it was very difficult to overtake the car. Besides, the eldest miss was in the car. Xiao Chun didn't want to take the risk at the beginning. However, what Xiao Chun did not expect was that while he was not anxious, the young mistress beside him was anxious instead. Xiao Chun, why don't you overtake the car? Cheng Minjing saw Xiao Chun following behind Li Shanpao unhurriedly. She was a little unhappy. Hurry up and overtake him. The track is not very spacious. If I overtake him, I'm afraid that the car will get scratched. After all, it's Jean Bebe's car, Xiao Chun said. If Jean Bebe gets scratched, she doesn't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. I order you to overtake him now. Cheng Minjing snorted. Fine. In fact, it was not that Xiao Chun didn't want to overtake him, but the turns ahead were not very good areas for overtaking. If it were him, he wouldn't be hurt if his car was hit by the car. However, the eldest miss was in the car, and he didn't want to take the risk. However, when Cheng Minjing was talking, Xiao Chun found that there was a relatively spacious winding mountain road ahead, which was perfect for overtaking. Now that he had found the opportunity, Xiao Chun directly sped up and quickly caught up to Li Shanpao's car. At first, when Li Shanpao saw that Xiao Chun didn't catch up with him, he thought that his car's performance was better than Xiao Chen's. However, he didn't expect that Xiao Chun would suddenly speed up and catch up to him. Why is he so difficult to deal with? At this moment, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiao Chun only had a good car. In the first race, because the track was not too dangerous and the car's performance was good, the chances of winning would be higher. Because the so-called drifting could basically be done by any racer. Ordinary tracks didn't require too advanced skills. Therefore, whoever had a good car had a better chance of winning. However, the winding mountain road was different. Below the winding mountain road was a steep cliff. First of all, there was infinite psychological pressure. Secondly, if the drift was not right or the angle was not right, the car might crash and the driver would die. At this time, it was a test of the driver's courage and skills. Hence, at the beginning, Li Shanpao didn't think much of Xiao Chun. He saw that Xiao Chun wasn't driving fast and didn't try to overtake him. So he guessed that Xiao Chun's car was good, but his skills weren't up to par. However, he didn't expect that Xiao Chun was going to overtake him when the next winding mountain road was coming. The curve in the winding mountain road was the best place to overtake. Because it was a curve, the road would inevitably widen. Xiao Chun flashed the car's high beam lights twice, then suddenly accelerated and rushed forward. This almost suicidal way of driving shocked Li Shanpao. Isn't he afraid of death? If he crashed into him, Xiao Chun wouldn't be fine, and neither would Li Shanpao. In an instant, Li Shanpao's expression changed. Originally, he didn't want to let Xiao Chun pass. He wanted to drive in front on the S-shaped road. This would eliminate the possibility of Xiao Chun overtaking him. However, Xiao Chun wasn't playing with skills. He was playing with his life. If it was a professional race, it was rare to see Xiao Chun's suicidal way of driving. After all, everyone was a professional racer. The race was about money, not life. However, it was hard to say why Xiao Chun, a hedonistic young master, would race. Was he looking for excitement? Was he competitive? All of these were possible. Li Shanpao didn't dare to bet on whether Xiao Chun really dared to crash into him. At least, it was the first time Li Shanpao saw someone who dared to speed up at the winding mountain road. Who would speed up here? Was there something wrong with him? However, Xiao Chun sped up. Therefore, Li Shanpao subconsciously moved the car to the side to give Xiao Chun enough space to overtake. Anyway, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiao Chun could successfully overtake him in this situation. After all, there was a big curve in front. It was not a problem for him to overtake others and drift, but if he suddenly increased his speed to more than 200 miles per hour, it would be a fatal accident. Aha! Although Cheng Minjing was used to Xiao Chun's speed, she wasn't used to such a dangerous way of driving. Seeing that there was a sharp curve in front, Xiao Chun suddenly accelerated. What was he trying to do? When Xiao Chun saw Li Shanpao move aside, the corner of his mouth slightly raised. The more famous a racer was, the more afraid he was of death. Xiao Chun was just creating an illusion that he was desperate. Even if Li Shanpao didn't dodge, with Xiao Chun's skills, it was impossible for the car to crash and he would die. At most, he would fail to overtake. However, the miss hadn't finished yet. Panamera had quickly overtaken Li Shanpao and completed a beautiful drift at the curve. The perfect combination of speed and skills. Just a little bit more, and Xiao Chun's car would crash and he would die. But he didn't. This wasn't Xiao Chun's good luck, but Xiao Chun's keen mind and mental strength had already calculated the distance. There would be no problem at all. It wasn't easy for him to become an awesome cultivator. If he didn't use his ability now, when would he use it? Watching Xiao Chun drift successfully with a whoosh and continue to move forward, Li Shanpao's eyes widened. It can't be right. Did this kid retire from the international competition? His skills were not below Li Shanpao at all. If this went on, he would lose the race again. The opponent was racing with no regard for their lives. In terms of momentum, Li Shanpao was already at a disadvantage. How could he win? Taking a deep breath, Li Shanpao used the car phone to call his junior brother, Lin Chao. Most of the time, the two of them worked together to frame others in the race. Senior brotherly, are you going to make your move? I'm ready to throw the stun grenade at any time. Lin Chao's voice sounded from the phone. This was the method that Li Shanpao and Lin Chao used to get rid of Xiao Chun. Throwing a stun grenade on the winding mountain road was tantamount to putting the opponent to death. When the time came, he wouldn't be able to see anything. It would be very easy for him to rush out of the winding mountain road and fall off the cliff. It was inevitable that his car would crash and he would die. The stun grenade could instantly blind the opponent. Moreover, there wouldn't be too much evidence left after the incident. If the opponent was knocked off the cliff or sprayed lubricant on the road, it would be easier to leave a trace. As for the residue of the stun grenade, it would quickly be blown away by the wind. Even if someone passed by after the incident, there wouldn't be anything left. Moreover, the car accidents here were handled by themselves in a low-profile manner. No one would report it to the police, and there wasn't any professional investigation. It was impossible to be discovered. There's no need for that. Li Shanpao didn't plan to get rid of Xiao Chun in this race because of Chao Yuliang's orders. However, he wouldn't let Xiao Chun win, so he said, "In a while, use your chi to blast the rock and break his fuel tank. Pay attention to the angle, and don't damage anything else." Okay, I understand. Lin Chao nodded. Breaking someone else's fuel tank was Lin Chao's strength. He and Li Shanpao had worked together several times. When he made his move, he could completely make the car leak without affecting anything else. Chapter 150. Li Shanpao hung up the phone and felt relieved. As for Xiao Chun, no, I don't want to die. I'm not married yet, damn you Xiao Chun, I'm ruined in your hands. I still have to marry you in the end, ah. Chung Minjing closed her eyes and didn't dare to look anymore. She didn't think that Xiao Chun would be able to pass the big bend smoothly. He was too fast and couldn't control the direction at all. You're not married. You can't blame me. It's the Chung family who wants to break off the engagement, right? Xiao Chun looked at Chung Minjing, who was yelling, and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. We overtook them. Chung Minjing opened her eyes, and when she saw that she was not dead, she immediately felt a little happy. She took a deep breath and snorted. Luckily, the engagement was broken off. Otherwise, I would have been scared to death by you all day long. Hee hee, Xiao Chun chuckled. Suddenly, his keen divine sense and mental strength sensed that someone seemed to be staring at him. This person should not be Li Shanpao, but someone hiding somewhere on the mountain road. But Xiao Chun could not determine where exactly because the car was too fast. Elder Heaven Ancestor, Yang Qi said. Someone seems to be targeting me. Xiao Chun did not dare to neglect, and hurriedly consulted the Elder Heaven Ancestor. Generally speaking, the Elder Heaven Ancestor's spiritual sense and spiritual perception were stronger than Xiao Chen's. Yes, I've dealt with it. As soon as the Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice trailed off, a clang was heard. Xiao Chen's Panamera suddenly shook twice. Fortunately, Xiao Chen's reaction was fast enough, and the car did not deviate from the track and collide with the mountain. Why didn't you say so earlier? Xiao Chen was stunned and said, What happened? Your fuel tank was hit by a rock, the Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Then what should we do? Xiao Chen was shocked. If the car's fuel tank leaked, it would keep leaking. They were not even halfway through the race. If they ran out of fuel, wouldn't they lose the race? Don't you have essence chi? Did you break through the 4th level for nothing? Elder Sky asked. Yeah. Xiao Chen suddenly woke up. His yuan chi could be converted into all kinds of energy. At this moment, he could directly convert it into the car's gasoline power. Therefore, even if the car ran out of gas, it could still be driven. Thinking of this, Xiao Chun heaved a sigh of relief, but he was a little distressed about his vitality. However, Xiao Chun was a little puzzled at the moment. From the looks of it, his opponent only wanted him to lose the match, which was why he leaked the fuel tank. Otherwise, if the rock hit the windshield, it would not be as simple as losing the game. Of course, the premise was that Xiao Chun was an ordinary person. In other words, if a gun was used to shoot the fuel tank instead of a rock, the car might explode. It would not be as simple as losing. Therefore, the other party did not intend to kill him at the moment. Could it be because Chung Minjing was in the car? Xiao Chun could only make such an inference. There was really no other reason. Xiao Chun, what happened to us? The car shook. Chung Minjing was subconsciously a little nervous. Did we hit something? Nothing. Xiao Chun did not say anything about the oil leak. That would make Chung Minjing worry. However, Xiao Chun's car was different from before. It started to take the S route. Damn. Li Shanpao walked and wanted to catch up with Xiao Chun, but he suddenly realized that this kid was not doing a good thing. If there was an oil leak, then there was an oil leak. He actually swayed on the road. In this way, the leaked oil was scattered everywhere. So Li Shanpao did not dare to drift at all. The car's tires rolled on the oil. It was fine if he did not drift, because the car's tires were special anti-skid. It was impossible to lose control on this kind of road. However, if he drifted on it, it would be hard to say. Maybe the car would slide a little further and fall. Li Shanpao could only drive honestly. He thought that Xiao Chun would soon run out of oil, and he couldn't persist to the top of the mountain at all. He secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Chun's car indeed ran out of oil soon, but Xiao Chun secretly began to inject energy into the car to replace the oil. To Xiao Chun's surprise, the car's engine was running very smoothly and powerfully. Except for Xiao Chun himself, no one could see the difference at all. Moreover, it seemed that the car was more powerful than before. This was also what Xiao Chun could feel. Xiao Chun reached the top of the mountain and crossed the finish line. Li Shanpao was still driving carefully somewhere. Jin Beibei, Lu Junming, Chao Yuliang, Chen Jinpeng, and Shen Jingxian had all taken the cable car to the finish line at the top of the mountain and were waiting. Seeing Xiao Chun's car dashing over, Jin Beibei immediately cheered. Oh, my cousin-in-law won again. Jean Bebe danced with joy, as if she had won. Haha, of course. I admit that I'm not as good as Xiao Chen in racing. Lu Zhenming also walked over. He mainly wanted to see Qing Minjing. Qiao Yuliang frowned. Why did Xiao Chen win again? Did something happen on Li Shanpao's side? Xiao Chen patted Qiao Yuliang's shoulder and said with a smile. Young Master Qiao, thank you so much. The racer you found for me is really bad. In the first race he drove in the ditch. In the second race, he even let me overtake him. What a nice guy. Of course. I told you. I just want to help you win some money. Qiao Yuliang said. Our grudge before was because of Cheng Minjing. But now it's all in the past. I still hope that you can help me pursue Qing Minjing. No problem. It's not a problem as long as you have money. If you don't forget it, Xiao Chen said confidently. Cheng Minjing immediately frowned. What did Xiao Chen mean? She used to be his fiancée. Even if she was not now, how could he help someone else pursue his ex-wife? How shameless could he be? I'm so angry. I shouldn't have gotten in the car just now. I should have let you die so that you don't have a conscience. Haha, I definitely have money. This isn't a racing car, but I have money. In the future, there will be more opportunities like this. Qiao Yuliang also noticed that in the next race, Cheng Minjing would most likely have to follow the car. So, the hope of killing Xiao Chen today was very slim. He said it so that he could trick Xiao Chen into courting death again next time. Otherwise, in the eyes of Qiao Yuliang, Xiao Chen was a dead man. He was too lazy to pretend to be courteous with him. Even if he wanted to pursue Qing Minjing, he didn't need him. After waiting for a while, Li Shanpao's car arrived late. However, after he stopped the car, he saw that Xiao Chen had already reached the finish line. He was suddenly shocked. He pointed at Xiao Chen's car and shouted, Impossible! Impossible! How did you reach the finish line earlier than me? Earlier, although Li Shanpao didn't see Xiao Chen on the way, he thought that Xiao Chen had accidentally driven the car into the ditch, because the gasoline in the tank had leaked only for a short distance before it was completely gone. There was no more gasoline left for the rest of the road. Therefore, Li Shanpao didn't think that Xiao Chen could drive the car to the finish line at all. Hearing Li Shanpao's exclamation, everyone looked at Xiao Chen's Panamera subconsciously. As expected, they found a big hole near the fuel tank. There were traces of gasoline flowing out, but it had been completely drained. Ah, my rich Jean Bebe's car. Jean Bebe looked at her car sadly. It's so miserable. Chen Jinping, it's all your fault. You asked my cousin-in-law to race with you and damaged my car. Didn't you? Pay for it. Well, Chen Jinping was dazed for a moment. Does it have anything to do with me? However, he was a bit scared of Jean Bebe right now. Subconsciously, he took a few steps back and said, I bought 2 cars from Porsche. They gave me a voucher of 100,000 yuan. I'll give it to you later. You can go and repair the car. Chen Jinping thought that since he had given the 2 cars to Jean Bebe anyway, it was useless for him to keep the voucher. So, he might as well give it to her. Looking at the big hole on the car, Jean Bebe said, Fine. I'll reluctantly forgive you. But 100,000 yuan is not enough to repair the car, is it? Alright Jean Bebe. How much did you spend to repair the car? You can ask Pingzi to reimburse you with the receipt. Qiao Yuliang waved his hands. He squatted and looked at the fuel tank of the Panamera in confusion too. How did the car get there when it ran out of gas? Fine. Jean Bebe finally calmed down. Young Master Lu, thank you so much for modifying an auxiliary fuel tank for me. Otherwise, I really would have run out of gas. Xiao Chen said to Lu Zhenming gratefully. Lu Zhenming was slightly dazed. However, he did not know where exactly the modification factory had been made. He did not know that Lu Zhenming really thought that it was him who had modified the car. So he smiled complacently and said, Of course. We are so close. Ha ha ha. After hearing what Xiao Chen and Lu Zhenming said, Li Shanpao suddenly understood. He felt that he had been tricked. In the modification factory, some cars would be modified with an auxiliary fuel tank in order to increase the driving distance. However, this way would increase the weight of the car. Also, If the location of the auxiliary fuel tank was not chosen well, it would be more troublesome when the car crashed. So he did not think of this before. Only now did he understand that there was an auxiliary fuel tank. No wonder he could drive here without any pressure. Chao Yuliang's face was a little pale. Although he could not kill Xiao Chen today, he had secretly asked someone to bet a lot of money on Li Xiaopao. If Li Xiaopao lost now, he would lose everything. Damn it, it's Lu Jinming again. If it wasn't for this guy, Xiao Chen would have died a long time ago. This guy was really his nemesis. Chao Yuliang was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. There is only one game left. If I win, I can go home and sleep. Xiao Chen said with a smile. What's the next game? According to the rules, it's going against the Panshan Road, which means returning to the foot of the Panshan Road from the top of the Panshan Road. But Xiao Chen, your car is broken. Can you still compete? Why don't you give up today and try another day? Chao Yuliang suggested. Chapter 151. Chao Yuliang could not hurt Xiao Chen today. Moreover, Xiao Chen had been lucky many times. He was afraid that in the next race, something would go wrong with the car modified by Lu Jinming. If Xiao Chen won again, he would suffer a great loss. How can I change it to another day? Then I won in vain today, didn't I? Why don't you tell the racetrack that I won, and give me the prize money? Xiao Chen glanced at Chao Yuliang and asked. At the same time, Xiao Chen sneered in his heart. Was Chao Yuliang anxious because Cheng Minjing was always in the car, and had no chance to hurt him? But he was not so stingy, was he? Was he not going to continue the race, just for 400,000 yuan? Xiao Chen did not know that this guy had also made a bet in private. But even if he knew, he would be happy. How is that possible? The racetrack isn't owned by my family, they all have their own rules. Chao Yuliang's expression froze. If Xiao Chen won, then wouldn't his money go down the drain? But now, there was still a chance to turn the tables. So he said, since Xiao Chen wants to continue the race, let's continue. But can you still drive this car? It's okay. Why can't I? Didn't I drive well just now? Xiao Chen said with a faint smile. In the second race, the driver of TTT 777 wins again. The voice of Xiao Chen's victory came from the loudspeaker. In the third race, Reverse Mountain Road. 2 players, please get ready. Okay, that's enough. I'm going to the race. Wait for my victory. Xiao Chen waved his hand and got in the car. Cheng Minjing followed him and got in the car. Jean Beibei ran to Cheng Minjing and said, Cousin Minjing, let's switch. How about I accompany my cousin-in-law in this race? No, Cheng Minjing said firmly. Why? Do you like my cousin-in-law? Jean Beibei asked in a low voice. Don't worry about it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Of course, Cheng Minjing wouldn't exchange with Jean Beibei. Chao Yuliang was afraid of her and didn't dare to kill her. However, he couldn't do it with Jean Beibei. Chao Yuliang didn't like Jean Beibei. Besides, Chen Jinping hated Jean Beibei so much. If Jean Beibei was in the car, Xiao Chen would be killed faster. The two of them would definitely be happy that Jean Beibei died together. Oh, okay. Seeing that Cheng Minjing was so determined, Jean Beibei left gloomily, although she didn't understand the reason. Li Xiaopao took a look at Chao Yuliang and saw Chao Yuliang shake his head. He knew that Chao Yuliang had given up the plan. He also realized that Chao Yuliang seemed to be doing this for Cheng Minjing. However, he would still take the commission. Whether Xiao Chen was killed or not did not matter to him. The 2 cars stopped side by side at the starting line. The voice of the countdown for the third race came from the loudspeaker again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When the number 1 was shouted, the referee waved the small flag in his hand. The voice on the other side of the phone was very gloomy. I've already taken off my pants. And this is what you show me? Boss, don't be angry. Chao Yuliang was shocked. He knew what kind of person his master was. The boss was usually a serious person. If he was joking with you, it meant that he was already extremely angry. He quickly explained. In the first 2 races, Cheng Minjing was also in the car, so Boss, you also know that she is a member of the Cheng family, so... What about the Cheng family? The boss said faintly. Don't think that I don't know your thoughts. Don't you just want to marry her? Let me tell you. A real man doesn't have to worry about not having a wife. You know what I mean, right? I know. Chow Yuliang's throat squirmed twice. In the end, he didn't argue but chose to obey. Because he had to obey. There was no other possibility. Okay, I want to see the result. After the boss finished, he hung up the phone. Chow Yuliang clenched his hands. His face was hideous and terrible. He panted heavily. He really liked Cheng Minjing. It wasn't fake. However, for the supreme strength and family status, he must kill Cheng Minjing with his own hands. Why yeah. Chow Yuliang growled. Although you gave me Chow Yuliang's strength and helped me get to the top, I will remember what happened today. One day, I will settle the score with you. After venting, Chow Yuliang calmed down his mood. He picked up the phone again and dialed Li Shanpao's number. Young Master Chow, what are your orders? Li Shanpao was depressed that he couldn't catch up with Xiao Chun. The plan has begun. Kill them. Chow Yuliang gritted his teeth and said this sentence. Then he hung up the phone. Xiao Chun's guess was right. He was the young man who had been targeting Xiao Chun. He was Chow Yuliang. After putting away the phone, Chow Yuliang raised his head and strode back to the audience. Cheng Minjing is already a thing of the past. However, your death is worth it. The woman that I, Chow Yuliang, have taken a liking to is willing to be sacrificed for me. His psychology was almost distorted. Brother Liang, what's the matter? Chen Jinping asked casually when he saw Chow Yuliang come back. Nothing. My family asked me where I am, and when I will go back. Chow Yuliang waved his hand and said casually, let's watch the game. Oh okay. Chen Jinping was holding back his anger. He originally said that he wanted to kill Xiao Chun, but the result was that Xiao Chun won inexplicably twice. This third time, he also had the posture of winning, so he didn't want to watch anymore. However, Shen Jingxian on the side seemed to be very cold to him. Although Shen Jingxian could answer with a smile, this kind of I ask and you answer style of chatting wasn't chatting at all. It made people very depressed. Li Shanpao was suppressed by Xiao Chun. Finally, when Chow Yuliang gave the order, he didn't have to hold back anymore. He directly contacted his junior Lin Chao. Junior Chao, get ready to move. Prepare the flash grenade. Okay, no problem. Lin Chao's voice came over. Li Shanpao wasn't in a hurry to chase at this time. If he was too close to Xiao Chun, he might be affected by the flash grenade. When Xiao Chun couldn't see the road clearly and fell off the cliff, he would go over. As long as Xiao Chun died, then he would be the only winner of this game. No matter how many rounds Xiao Chun had won before, it didn't matter. This was the rule of underground racing. If one side lost and quit the game, the other side would win. Why isn't Li Shanpao chasing anymore? Cheng Minjing looked at the rearview mirror with some doubts. Is he going to give up? I don't think so. Could it be that he wants to do something? Xiao Chun frowned. He felt that if he was a master in the international underground racing competition, he wouldn't be able to stand being humiliated by a newcomer from a small place, let alone Li Shanpao. This person is really wicked. His level isn't good, but he wants to ruin others. Cheng Minjing looked down on Li Shanpao. Xiao Chun nodded and didn't say anything. However, his divine sense and mental strength had been released to sense the movements nearby. He was also afraid that there would be some problems in the last game. Chapter 152. Suddenly, Xiao Chun moved, but it was too late. An unknown object was suddenly thrown not far in front of Xiao Chun. Then it suddenly exploded and emitted a dazzling light. Flash bomb. These words flashed in Xiao Chun's mind. In an instant, everything in front of him was white, and he was temporarily blinded. Ah! Cheng Minjing also screamed. She knew very well what would happen if she couldn't see the road on this racetrack. There was a big curve not far in front, and the car would almost certainly rush down. Although Xiao Chun was a little shocked, he wasn't the slightest bit worried. Although everything in front of his eyes was white, don't forget that Xiao Chun had divine sense and spiritual perception. Moreover, his sixth senses were very sensitive, so his eyes weren't affected at all. It was only a short few seconds before the flash bomb exploded that he saw a vast expanse of whiteness. Once the flash bomb lost its effect, Xiao Chen instantly recovered his vision. This didn't affect him much at all. In fact, when the flash bomb lit up, Xiao Chen began to drift through the curve. The car didn't slow down at all. F***ck. Li Shanpao's junior Lin Chao, who hit on the cable car and threw the flash bomb, suddenly widened his eyes. Although he was also temporarily blinded, after losing his vision, he realized that Xiao Chen didn't die in the crash. Instead, he continued to move forward. This was strange. Xiao Chen wasn't affected by the flash bomb? If he knew that Xiao Chen could still drift, he would probably be shocked. We didn't die. After a while, Cheng Minjing didn't notice anything wrong. It seemed that the car was still moving at high speed, and her vision gradually returned to normal. Suddenly, she was very surprised. Just now you actually drove over here? And I've memorized the route of the racetrack. It didn't affect me, said Xiao Chen. So that's how it is. You scared me to death. I thought we were going to die. Cheng Minjing let out a sigh of relief and patted her chest. The surprises I've eaten with you today are more than the amount of salt I've eaten since I was a child. Eat essence. Alright, Xiao Chen admitted that he was evil. He didn't know when he started to have such thoughts about eldest Mississippi. In the past, he only had thoughts about Shin Jingxian. If it was that easy to die, I wouldn't be your servant. Xiao Chen laughed. Humph, of course. Look at whose maid she is. Cheng Minjing said proudly. Lin Chao quickly contacted Li Shanpao. Senior brother, that kid actually didn't die. The flashbang has no effect on him. What? Li Shanpao nearly drove his car into the ravine. The stun grenade was ineffective? Could it be that this kid had titanium dog eyes? It didn't make sense that he wasn't afraid of the flash grenade. It's true. He's still driving. Lin Chao said. What do we do now? Forget it, I'll take care of the rest. Li Shanpao took a deep breath and began to accelerate. Lin Chao's method was nothing more than this. Since it was ineffective, he could only do it himself. On the winding mountain road, the mountain road going down the mountain wasn't easy to walk. Xiao Chen had some advantages because he left first. If Li Shanpao wanted to catch up, he could only use 200% of his potential and advantage. Fortunately, Li Shanpao wasn't a coward. He had already familiarized himself with the track when he was going uphill. At this time, as long as he concentrated, it wouldn't be a problem to maintain the acceleration. In any case, Li Shanpao's modified Ford was better than Xiao Chen's modified Panamera. One was a professional, and the other was an amateur. The gap was obvious. Xiao Chen had the advantage of being a cultivator before, not the advantage of the car. So Li Shanpao quickly increased the speed to more than 200 kilometers per hour. Xiao Chen's car was also within his sight. Vroom vroom. Li Shanpao's car made a roar. He reached out and turned on an electronic switch on the car. In an instant, a aiming star appeared on his windshield. This was an iron nail shooting system that he had specially prepared. It could aim at the tires of the car in front and shoot. As long as the tires of the opponent's car were punctured, the opponent's car would lose control and slide down the cliff. Of course, Lin Chao could also complete this task, but it was more difficult. Because the chassis of the sports car was relatively low, and Lin Chao was in the air, it was possible for him to shoot the fuel tank and throw the flash grenade, but it was a bit difficult to aim at the tires with the iron nails. If he didn't succeed in one shot, it wouldn't be good if he attracted the attention of others. But no one would have thought that there would be such a hidden danger on the opponent's car behind. This was also thanks to the fact that there wasn't a full surveillance system in this kind of place. As long as he went to the winding mountain road behind, no one would notice. However, there was a curve in front, so it wasn't easy to aim. Li Shanpao planned to wait until after this curve to kill Xiao Chen. At this moment, Xiao Chen also saw Li Shanpao catching up, and he understood. So this guy purposely fell behind in order to avoid the flash grenade. Xiao Chen wasn't a clay figurine. Killing Chao Yuliang might be a little stressful, but killing Li Shanpao wasn't stressful at all. This Li Shanpao actually dared to kill him with a flash grenade. If Xiao Chen kept him alive, he would be letting himself down. Especially when he almost killed Missy. It made Xiao Chen very angry. He didn't know why, but when it came to matters involving Cheng Minjing, Xiao Chen would also be very angry. Was it because she was his mistress? Or because she was once his fiancée? In Xiao Chen's heart, Li Shanpao was already equivalent to a dead person. After Xiao Chen passed the curve, he didn't quickly drive away. Instead, he set up an illusion behind him, changing the shape and distance of the curve behind him. Li Shanpao felt his vision blur. The track seemed to be different from what he had seen before, but he didn't pay much attention to it. He was fully focused on racing, and sometimes he would feel his vision blur. It was a reflex caused by visual fatigue. However, when Li Shanpao was drifting around the curve, he felt that something was wrong. He clearly felt that the wheels on one side seemed to have friction. Then with a bang, his car tilted, and then the whole car rolled off the cliff. Lin Chao was still on the cable car. He witnessed the scene of Li Shanpao falling off the cliff with his own eyes. This made him very shocked. There wasn't any external interference. How did Li Shanpao suddenly drive the car off the edge of the mountain road? Could it be that he miscalculated the distance of the drift? However, logically speaking, Li Shanpao shouldn't have made such a low-level mistake. He was an international professional racer. How could he make a mistake on such a small track? Thinking of this, Lin Chao had some doubts. Could it be that Xiao Chen had done something? However, he didn't look carefully before. He only saw Xiao Chen successfully pass the flash grenade, and not long after, Li Shanpao fell off the cliff. Could it be that there was something wrong with the residue of the flash grenade? Lin Chao's heart was in a mess. Until the cable car reached the station, he forgot to get off. In the end, he followed the cable car and went around in circles. That Li Shanpao fell off? Although Cheng Menjing was from an ancient martial arts family, she would still be afraid when she saw something like a dead person. Although she hated Li Shanpao, seeing him fall off the cliff at this moment, her heart was still subconsciously shocked. No matter what, this was a living life. The flash grenade just now was probably released by him. Xiao Chen said faintly, "Unrighteousness brings about one's own destruction. Who knows if he was affected by it or not?" If that's the case, when Cheng Minjing thought about the flash grenade that almost caused her and Xiao Chen to lose their lives, she suddenly didn't sympathize with Li Shanpao. She was a little angry. Chao Yuliang even wants to kill me? Is he crazy? I'm also a little puzzled. Is this Chao Yuliang's order, or Li Shanpao's personal behavior? Xiao Chen was also very puzzled at this moment. From the previous two races, Li Shanpao chose to endure. This should be Chao Yuliang's order. But why did Li Shanpao choose to go all out in the third match? Did Chao Yuliang change his mind? Or was there another reason? Li Shanpao's personal behavior? Cheng Menjing was a little surprised. Yup. Li Shanpao must have lost in the previous two races. He's an internationally famous racer after all. He's definitely upset that he lost to an unknown hedonistic young master in a row. Chapter 153. Cousin-in-law, did you make it? Your opponent fell into a ditch and died. Jean Bebe ran to him and said happily, "Cousin-in-law, you won." "Ah, really? Fell into a ditch?" After hearing that, Xiao Chen pretended to be confused and said, "Yes, I remember now. I don't know who was playing with a flashlight on the mountain earlier. It was so dazzling that I almost fell into a ditch. I guess that Li Shanpao must have been hit by it." "Flashlight? Are you all right?" Chao Yuliang interjected calmly. "Haha, I have to thank Lu Jinming, young master Lu." Xiao Chen laughed and patted Lu Jinming's shoulder. He changed the glass of the car to the International Professional Anti-Glare Glass, which can effectively protect us from strong light. Otherwise, we would have been dead for sure. I wonder who was so immoral as to play with a flashlight near the mountain road. Oh, maybe it was a kid or something. Chao Yuliang almost burst out cursing on the spot. "Lu Jinming, it's you again. Why is it always you? How old are ya? Ha ha ha. Of course. How could I not do a good job in Xiao Chen's racing? It cost me a lot of money. Besides, Minjing was in the car. How could I joke about my own safety?" Lu Jinming seemed to have forgotten that the glass of the car had been modified, but he did not mind making himself look good in front of Cheng Minjing. He immediately burst into laughter. Cheng Minjing looked at Xiao Chen strangely, but did not say anything. That was not what Xiao Chen had told her in the car. Also, she had been blinded by the flashlight before. How could she have any anti-glare glass? In the third race, the driver of song 741741 failed and fell off the cliff. The race is over. The driver of song TTT777 is the final winner of this race. The voice of Xiao Chen's victory came from the loudspeaker. In the next race, the drivers of song TXXXXX and song ZXXXXX will compete on the track. Please be prepared in advance. Xiao Chen won. The next race had nothing to do with him. He only needed to take the money and leave. Xiao Chen, congratulations. Chao Yuliang had to accept the fact. He had no choice. Li Shanpao was dead. It was impossible for him to deal with Xiao Chen today. Therefore, he had to give up temporarily. If there is such a good thing in the future, I will ask Pingzi to find you in advance. No problem. I will never refuse money. Xiao Chen nodded. Shen Jingxian frowned slightly. She looked at Xiao Chen. She could not understand this playboy more and more. She naturally knew what kind of person Li Shanpao was. However, Xiao Chen was able to win 3 races in a row. Shen Jingxian did not think that it was as simple as luck. Or it could be said that it was only because the car was modified by Lu Jinming. Moreover, Xiao Chen was such an arrogant person. Every time after the race, he would praise Lu Jinming. This made Shen Jingxian even more curious. Could it be that Xiao Chen really wanted to help Lu Jinming pursue Qing Menjing? Shen Jingxian felt that it was unlikely. How could such a narrow-minded man like Xiao Chen do such a thing? Even in the past, he and Qing Menjing were only engaged in name. However, 80% of the conflict between him and Chao Yuliang was caused by Qing Menjing. It could be seen that although Xiao Chen was very fickle in pursuing her, he still regarded Qing Menjing as his woman in his heart. Otherwise, he would not be so incompatible with Chao Yuliang. Now in just a few days, Xiao Chen changed his character. Moreover, through the contact between Shen Jingxian and Xiao Chen, Shen Jingxian did not think that Xiao Chen would do such a boring thing. The current Xiao Chen was really different from the previous Xiao Chen. It's getting late. I need to go back and rest. Qing Menjing did not want to stay here any longer, because Li Shanpao wanted to kill her and Xiao Chen. She was not in the mood. Jingxian, then I'll go first. I'll ask you out next time. Well, Menjing, go back and have a good rest. You must be tired today. Shen Jingxian smiled and nodded. She was the happiest that Qing Menjing and Xiao Chen were both fine. Chen Jinping went to Huang Xiaochun and took out a bank card with 400,000 yuan. He handed it to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen, this is the bank card with 400,000 yuan. The password is 6 zeros. Next time something like this happens, I'll call you again. But you also know that this kind of idiot rookie driver is not common. Okay. Call me if he's an idiot again. Xiao Chen nodded and put away the bank card. Then he got into the Panamera with Jin Beibei and Qing Menjing. After Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing left, Lu Jinming naturally did not need to stay anymore. He turned around and went to the parking lot. Watching him leaving, Chao Yuliang clenched his fists. Good, very good. Lu Jinming, it seems that you are determined to go against me. Time and time again, the killers that I sent to assassinate Xiao Chen were either killed by you or driven away by your people. You even raided the martial arts club of the Chao family and beat me up. I, Chao Yuliang, have never suffered such a great loss in my life. Humph. Who said that Lu Jinming, the young master of the underworld, was stupid? In Chao Yuliang's eyes, Lu Jinming was quite calculative. Otherwise, he would not have been able to go against him again and again and win with an overwhelming advantage. Cousin-in-law, you were awesome today. Jin Beibei was very excited on the way back. Not bad. Your car is good, said Xiao Chen. By the way, cousin Menjing, why don't you let me sit in cousin-in-law's car? Do you like cousin-in-law now? Jin Beibei was very regretful that she could not sit in the car today. Beibei, stop it. Qing Menjing glared at her and said, do you know how dangerous it was today? Chao Yuliang wanted to kill Xiao Chen. Li Shanpao is a professional racer in the international underground racing competitions. He is best at killing his opponents in the competitions. If I had not been in the car, Chao Yuliang would have killed me. But if you had been in the car, you and Xiao Chen would have died sooner. Ah, Jin Beibei was not stupid. She connected the dots and immediately realized what was going on. So cousin Minjing was trying to save my cousin-in-law. What did you think? Otherwise, why would I like to take his car? It was so fast. I was so scared. My heart almost fell out of my body. Cheng Minjing patted her chest subconsciously and said, "What about the flashlight in the last race?" asked Jean Bebe. It seemed to be Li Shanpao's accomplice. He threw a flashlight, but I had memorized the route and was not affected, said Xiao Chen. Then why did Li Shanpao fall to his death? Jean Bebe was somewhat confused. I set up a magic trick behind me. Don't forget that I know magic tricks, Xiao Chen said with a smile. But he saw it wrong and fell to his death. At this moment, Xiao Chen did not want to keep it a secret anymore. After all, it was impossible for his mistress and Jean Bebe to harm him. You killed him. Cheng Minjing widened her eyes and stared at Xiao Chen in disbelief. She found it hard to imagine that Xiao Chen had killed someone. Although killing was a common thing in the world of warriors, she rarely had the chance to come into contact with such things. He tried to kill me, and almost got you and me involved in a clandestine marriage. So of course I had to kill him. Xiao Chen shrugged his shoulders. You're my missy after all. As a servant, I have the right to protect you. Is that so? Cheng Minjing immediately felt much better. So Xiao Chen did it for her. It made Cheng Minjing somewhat happy. The guy was finally paying attention to her. Wow, a clandestine marriage. Cousin Minjing, cousin-in-law. You are so romantic. Jean Bebe waved her hands and shouted, as if she had discovered a new continent. Cheng Minjing was somewhat speechless. She rolled her eyes at her and said, You are going to die. Romantic. If you like him, you can marry him next time. Hee. It's fine if he is alive, but if he is dead, he won't know anything. I won't marry him. Jean Bebe stuck out her tongue. She suddenly thought of something. Right. Chao Yuliang asked Li Shanpao to kill him? He doesn't like cousin Minjing anymore? In the third race, I suspect that it was Li Shanpao's personal behavior. He is a famous racer in the world after all. But I won 2 races against him. And I was still in the lead in the third race. He must have killed me in private for his own sake. Of course I'm not sure, Xiao Chen speculated. After all, Chao Yuliang held himself back for 2 races. There was no need for him to wait until the third race. He shouldn't be short of 400,000. That's true. How strange. Jean Bebe nodded after hearing that. She gnashed her teeth and said, My poor car has been ruined by them. Damn Chen Jinping and Chao Yuliang. I'll kill them next time. Haha. Haven't you killed enough? Isn't this car Chen Jinping's? Xiao Chen said with a smile. It's mine now, Jean Bebe said matter-of-factly. Xiao Chen, seriously speaking, if you were not short of money, you wouldn't have promised Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping anything in the future. Now that you know that they are up to no good, why did you go and join them? Cheng Minjing said solemnly. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. Why was he not short of money? He was in dire need of money right now. But it was not convenient for him to say that. If Cheng Minjing asked him why the herbs he bought were so expensive, how was Xiao Chen going to answer her? Xiao Chen did not intend to talk about the cultivators for now. It's fine. I'm not scared of their petty schemes anyway. They are all at the kindergarten level, Xiao Chen said. I'd like to see what other tricks they have up their sleeves. Hey, what's wrong with you? Cheng Minjing was a little unhappy. She raised her eyebrows and said to Xiao Chen, As the saying goes, if you always stand by the river, your shoes will always be wet. What kindergarten level? If it weren't for the fact that your racing skills are not bad, I would have died with you today because of you. Xiao Chen, when are you going to get rid of your bad habit of being so competitive? No girls will like you like this. Shen Jingxian doesn't like your personality, either. Xiao Chen was immediately speechless. Why was he involved with Shen Jingxian again? Chapter 154. Xiao Chen's affection for Shen Jingxian had been completely sealed in his heart. When Cheng Minjing mentioned it and talked about it, Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, I'll try my best to be careful in the future. Humph, you don't listen to me no matter how hard I try to persuade you. You only listen to me when I mention Jingxian. Xiao Chen agreed, but Cheng Minjing snorted unhappily. Which one is more important, me or Jingxian? Both are important. Xiaochen was speechless. However, he was used to the temper of the first mistress. Jean Bebe stayed in the villa tonight. They drove all the way back to the villa. Xiaochen didn't go in with them. Instead, he said to them, "I've run out of medicine. I'll buy some." Okay. Cheng Minjing didn't care. She and Jean Bebe had eaten something in the racetrack tonight, so they didn't need to have dinner. She didn't care what Xiaochen was going to do. Xiaochen didn't drive again. Driving would consume his primordial qi. Xiaochen didn't want to waste the primordial qi that he had cultivated painstakingly in this place. Although it didn't consume a lot of primordial qi, he wanted to save as much as possible. When Xiaochen came to the pharmacy, he took a look. Fortunately, the pharmacy was not closed. It was a little late today. Xiaochen was really afraid that his cultivation would be delayed for a day. Pushing the door open, Xiaochen walked in. The young girl Hong Yan was still reading a book. She was very quiet and beautiful. Hearing the sound, she looked up and found it was Xiaochen. She didn't talk to him but said to the back, "Grandpa, that guy is here again." Xiaochen smiled bitterly. He didn't know how he had offended her. Her attitude was getting worse and colder. "Young man, you're here." Grandpa Chen walked out from the back. Seeing Xiaochen, he nodded to him. "You're here again? Is it the same as last time?" "No, the prescription has been changed again this time." As Xiaochen spoke, he passed the newly prepared prescription to Grandpa Chen and said, "Grandpa, can you help me take a look? How much does it cost this time?" Grandpa Chen nodded his head and took the prescription. He briefly looked at the medicinal ingredients and couldn't help but click his tongue in wonder. "Young man, are you sure you can use all the medicinal ingredients? The herbs are getting more and more expensive every time. I'm afraid you can't afford it." How much is it this time?" Xiaochen asked. "This time, even if I give you a discount, it will still be 2.5 million, Grandpa Chen said. "Moreover, this is already a very low price because you have added a new medicinal herb which is very rare. This kind of medicinal herb costs 2 million. "I see." Xiaochen almost burst into tears on the spot. Cultivation was simply burning money. This is a bottomless pit. I don't even have 2.5 million on me. I thought I had a lot of money, but I didn't expect it to be a drop in the bucket. That's why I asked you. Are you sure you can use it? If you can't use it, it will be a waste of money." Grandpa Chen said. I only have 2.1 million on me now." Xiaochen smiled bitterly and said weakly. "Hee." Grandpa Chen suddenly laughed after hearing it. "You are honest. However, I can sell you one. The next one will cost 2.5 million. It can't be any less. If I sell the next one, I will be making money." "Thank you, Grandpa." Xiaochen was suddenly surprised and happy. He thought that he couldn't buy it today, and it would delay the progress of his cultivation. However, he didn't expect that Grandpa Chen actually agreed to sell him one. "All right, Yin Yin, you swipe his card. I will get the medicine for him," Grandpa Chen said to Hong Yan. "Oh." Hong Yan nodded and put down the book in her hand. She took out a POS machine and handed it to Xiaochen. She said coldly, "Swipe it." Xiaochen gave all the money he had to Hong Yan. He was only left with a little change in his pocket. It was really bitter to the extreme. He originally thought that he had some money on hand. Who would have thought that he could only afford to buy a set of medicinal herbs after the other party gave him a discount? After receiving the bag of medicinal herbs that weren't much different from before, Xiaochen couldn't help but smile bitterly. Nowadays there were more and more rare medicinal herbs and less common ones. If this continued, how could he survive in the future? "Grandpa Chen, why did you give him a discount again? Won't we lose out?" Hong Yan looked at Grandpa Chen strangely and asked. "Miss Yan, I always feel that this person isn't simple. It can be considered as a good karma." Grandpa Chen said, "The connections of our Hong Chamber of Commerce are built this way in many cases. But he looks very wretched. No matter how I look at it, he won't be of help to us." Hong Yan had already put on colored glasses to look at Xiaochen. He in the past, didn't the honorary guest of our Hong Chamber of Commerce, President Lin, also come from a humble background? At that time, because of a good karma, the shopkeeper of a shop sold something to him. He was grateful. When our Chamber of Commerce was in trouble later, he helped us. Grandpa Chen said earnestly. As a businessman, this is what we pay attention to. Isn't President Lin a legendary figure? Grandpa Chen, does he really exist? Hong Yan asked curiously. Who knows? However, there might not be an empty hole, right? Grandpa Chen laughed and said. In short, the things recorded in the Chamber of Commerce's log should be true. Okay then. Hong Yan pouted, and didn't continue to slander Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen ran home quickly, and found that Cheng Minjing and Jean Beibei had gone upstairs to rest. So he went back to his room, and began to brew medicine. As for dinner, he skipped it. With all the medicinal materials he had bought, Xiao Chen sighed deeply and said to himself, Elder Heaven Ancestor, if this goes on, I will go bankrupt. Next, I really have to sell my blood. I am fast enough to cheat money, but you are even worse than me. Well, this is a good idea, Elder Heaven Ancestor said thoughtfully after hearing that. What? Xiao Chen was suddenly stunned. A good idea? Your blood has been tempered by medicine. After drinking it, it can strengthen your body, heal wounds and so on. So you can also sell your blood to people like Golden-Haired Lion King, Elder Heaven Ancestor said. Forget it. Then I might as well sell the dregs. Xiao Chen felt disgusted thinking about it. He put the medicinal materials into the electric clay pot, set the time, and began to brew it. Over there, in a limousine near the underground racetrack, Chao Yuliang sat in it with a livid face. Opposite him was Li Shanpao's junior brother Lin Chao. Mr. Lin Chao, tell me what's going on. That's not what you told me at the beginning. You said that you would definitely kill Xiao Chen. But what about now? You didn't kill Xiao Chen, but he killed himself? How are you going to explain this to me? Chao Yuliang didn't complete the task, so he was naturally in a bad mood. However, he was secretly relieved that Cheng Minjing didn't die. Young Master Chao, this is indeed my senior brother's mistake. However, you can't blame us entirely. We could have gotten rid of Xiao Chen in the first match, but you didn't agree. The third match was on the downhill mountain path, which was the most dangerous match. If something went wrong Lin Chao was implying that he was also responsible. Chao Yuliang frowned slightly, but he didn't refute. After all, Lin Chao wasn't his junior brother, and the truth was what Lin Chao said. Now that Li Shanpao was dead, it was meaningless for Chao Yuliang to say this. Forget it. This time, you and I are both responsible. I will still give you the money. Chao Yuliang waved his hand. You should leave as soon as possible. Don't let anyone find out. Of course, I have to go back and arrange the follow-up. Lin Chao nodded and said. But young Master Chao, there is something I have to remind you. Senior brother Li's identity isn't simple. What do you mean? Chao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Isn't he just a professional racer in the underground racetrack? His identity on the surface is a professional racer, but his real identity is also a descendant of an aristocratic family. He's just a collateral relative. Lin Chao said. So, I'm afraid that senior brother's family will find trouble with young Master Chao. During this time, young Master Chao shouldn't go out of town. In Songning City, I believe that no one dares to touch young Master Chao. Are you threatening me? Chao Yuliang sneered. Let's not talk about the fact that he was a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 internal strength. Even if he wasn't afraid of any collateral relatives. That's not it. It's just a kind reminder. Lin Chao waved his hand. Of course, this isn't the most troublesome. The most troublesome thing is that he has a fiancée who is a martial artist. Young Master Chao should know what kind of person a martial artist is, right? I'm afraid that his fiancée will come to take revenge. Chao Yuliang looked at Lin Chao's incessant chatter, and finally got a little impatient. I'm just the employer. I paid. Li Shan's problem is ultimately because of Xiao Chen and Lu Jinming, who helped him modify the car. You should tell them this. Young Master Chao, don't be unhappy. I'll naturally speak up for you. However, if someone really comes, you can just shirk the responsibility, just like just now. Lin Chao hinted. Haha, understood. Chao Yuliang wasn't stupid. He understood the meaning behind Lin Chao's words. His previous unhappiness was instantly swept away. This was a good opportunity to deal with Xiao Chen and Lu Jinming. Previously, Qiao Yuliang was afraid that they would come to find trouble. Now he was afraid that they wouldn't come. Then I'll take my leave. Lin Qiao cupped his fist. He quickly got out of the RV and disappeared into the night. Qiao Yuliang reached out and picked up the phone. He looked at a name on it and didn't press it for a long time. However, before he could make a decision, the phone rang first. Boss. Qiao Yuliang took a deep breath and quickly picked up the phone. What are you doing? Why is Xiao Chen still alive? The boss's unhappy voice came from the other side of the phone. Chapter 155. Boss, this was an accident. I didn't want it, but Li Xiaopao had a car accident. Qiao Yuliang quickly explained. So, Xiao Chen won the race by luck. Car accident. Luck. I think you might be very happy in your heart, right? Cheng Minjing didn't die. You are very happy, right? Do you really want this? The boss's voice had a penetrating sarcasm. Qiao Yuliang's heart was shocked. He was indeed glad, but he didn't dare to say it out loud. Boss, how is this possible? Everything is based on your plan. It doesn't matter if the woman is sacrificed. Humph. The boss snorted coldly. Who is this driver you invited? He was suppressed by Xiao Chen in 3 consecutive races. An international professional racer is not as good as a prodigal young master? Actually, it's because of Lu Jinming from the Lu family. If it weren't for Lu Jinming, Xiao Chen would have died long ago. Qiao Yuliang quickly said. Xiao Chen's car was modified by Lu Jinming. If it weren't for his car being so good, he would have died in this race. That Lu Jinming is really hateful. He actually added an auxiliary fuel tank and anti-dazzling sound glass. Oh, from what you mean you can't do it, so you blame others, right? The boss's tone suddenly became cold. Qiao Yuliang, let me tell you. What I give you now, I can also give to others. If you can't do it, I will replace you. Well, since you said that Lu Jinming is so powerful, then he is stronger than you. I will support him to do things for me. It's the same. Don't. Boss, I'm sorry. Please give me another chance. Qiao Yuliang was shocked. He was shocked and quickly promised. I will make Xiao Chen die as soon as possible. I'll give you one last chance. Kill Xiao Chen as soon as possible. Otherwise, don't blame me for replacing you. After the boss finished, he hung up the phone. Qiao Yuliang's chest heaved as he held the phone in his hand. No. I will not let others replace me. My achievements today are the result of my perseverance and hard work. I can't give it to others. That is an opportunity that belongs to me, Qiao Yuliang. Xiao Chen, Lu Jinming, go to hell. After the decoction was done, Xiao Chen drank it all in one gulp. The hot and dry feeling in his body came again. He quickly began to train. However, it was not until 3 o'clock in the morning that the effect of the medicine passed. There was only a layer of black sludge on Xiao Chen's body. He did not break through again. This also made Xiao Chen feel disappointed, but at the same time, he felt lucky. Even if he broke through again, it was impossible for him to have money to buy medicine. It was better to use this medicine for a few more days. After taking a shower, Xiao Chen hurriedly ran to the morning market street. Tang Tang must be very worried about his situation. It was already late when he came back from buying medicine yesterday. Tang Tang must have gone to bed, so Xiao Chen did not contact her again. All the way to the old auntie's grocery store, Xiao Chen was surprised to find that Tang Tang did not come to the stall today. However, Xiao Chen did not care at first. He began to pack up the things for the stall. However, when he finished packing, Tang Tang did not come, which made Xiao Chen feel a little strange. For a long time, Tang Tang had never been late. She was one step ahead of Xiao Chen every day. Today, Xiao Chen was ready to open the stall, but Tang Tang did not come. Xiao Chen quickly picked up the phone and dialed Tang Tang's number. At first, no one answered. Xiao Chen was slightly shocked. After a while, Tang Tang's weak voice came from the phone. Xiao Chen. It's you. Tang Tang, are you okay? What's wrong with you? Xiao Chen heard that Tang Tang's voice was not quite right. She seemed to be weak, so he asked quickly. Nothing. I feel weak and uncomfortable. Today, I won't go to the stall. I want to sleep a little longer. I'm sorry. Tang Tang said in a daze. Tang Tang, are you sick? I'll go to see you. Where do you live? Xiao Chen felt something was wrong when he heard Tang Tang's voice. He was a cultivator. Even if he was sick, he could recover quickly if it was not too serious. However, Tang Tang was an ordinary person. If she was sick and not treated in time, she might cause more trouble. No, it seems that I have a cold. I'll be fine after a rest, Tang Tang said weakly. You don't have to come. How can I do that? Hello. Xiao Chen did not expect Tang Tang to hang up the phone. Frowning slightly, Xiao Chen turned and walked into the grocery store. At this time, the old auntie had just woken up and was ready to open for business. When she saw Xiao Chen coming in, she asked, "Young man, what's wrong? What's the matter?" "Auntie, I want to ask. Where is Tang Tang's home? Do you know?" Xiao Chen asked. "She didn't come today. She is sick. I'm going to see her. Her home is just on this street. Then in the last community, building number 3, but I don't know which unit." The old auntie said, "What's wrong? What's wrong with her? Is it serious?" "It should be a cold," Xiao Chen said. "Then I'll go and look for it." "Okay, you can go and ask." The old auntie nodded. Xiao Chen didn't go to the stall. Instead, he walked quickly toward the neighborhood. The community at the end of the street was a very old community. It should have been built decades ago. They were all red brick houses, and the highest one was only 3 stories. Building number 3 was easy to find. It was on the side of the road. Xiao Chen looked at the 3 units in front of him and released his divine sense spiritual power. She was already very familiar with Tang Tang's smell. It had not rained these 2 days. If Tang Tang passed here every day, it would be very easy for Xiao Chen to find her. As for asking others, it was basically impossible. How many people would pay attention to a student who went out early and came back late? Soon, Xiao Chen walked to the middle unit. Upstairs, Xiao Chen stopped in front of Unit 302. Xiao Chen could be sure that Tang Tang was renting here. Xiao Chen wanted to knock on the door, but he hesitated. Tang Tang was so weak now. Could she get up and open the door for him? Elder Heaven Ancestor, can a cultivator open the door? Xiao Chen asked. Damn. Do you really think that a cultivator is omnipotent? They can also pick the lock. Elder Heaven Ancestor's speechless voice sounded. Then it seems that I can only knock on the door. Xiao Chen stretched out his hand. When he was about to knock on the door, he heard Elder Heaven Ancestor continue to speak. I really admire you. Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice was somewhat helpless. Inject your primordial chi and divine sense spiritual power into the door lock. Let the door lock operate according to your imagination. Then you can replace the kinetic energy generated by the key. Is that okay? Xiao Chen just asked casually. He did not expect that it would work. This cultivator was really omnipotent. Even a martial artist could not do it. A sense of superiority arose spontaneously. Click. Just a weak primordial chi made the door lock open. Tang Tang was at home, so naturally, there was only a small lock. Xiao Chen did not spend much effort. This house was also a typical old-fashioned house. There was no decoration inside. As soon as he entered the door, there was a long corridor. On the right side were a bathroom, a kitchen, and a bedroom. It was a typical old-fashioned house. The whole corridor was dim and had no windows. Xiao Chen could not help but frown. Tang Tang lived in such an environment every day. After closing the door, Xiao Chen walked to the bedroom. The door of the bedroom was not locked, or not locked at all. Who's there? The sound of Xiao Chen opening the door might have alerted Tang Tang. The moment Xiao Chen opened the bedroom door, he heard Tang Tang's exclamation. Tang Tang was sitting on the bed and looking at the door in horror. She was only wearing a small vest, and her breasts were so huge that Xiao Chen was a bit surprised. Usually Tang Tang wore relatively loose clothes, and it was not obvious. But at this moment, Xiao Chen found that her breasts were several sizes bigger than Jean Bei's. Of course, it was also because Tang Tang was fat in the first place. But according to the ratio, it was indeed shocking. It's you, Xiao Chen? Tang Tang was relieved when she saw Xiao Chen. She had thought it was a thief. Tang Tang usually looked like a tough woman, but she was not a warrior. Now that she was sick, she still showed the weak side of a girl unnaturally. However, when Tang Tang calmed down and saw the direction of Xiao Chen's eyes, An inexplicable feeling rose in her heart. Was she a little shy? Or a little happy? But she was not angry at all. Hey, what are you looking at? You are even looking at me? What a vulgar taste. No matter what Tang Tang thought in her heart, she still put on a disdainful look. Xiao Chun, you can't be so thirsty, can you? You are so bored by Cheng Minjing in the villa that you come to see me? Do you want me to take it off and let you have a closer look? Ahem. Xiao Chun suddenly blushed. Even he did not know why he went to see Tang Tang before. Perhaps he did not know when Tang Tang was not just a buddy anymore. Between men and women, how many friends were there that were just buddies? Nothing. I just saw that you are wearing so little. Will you catch a cold? I am very hot. Tang Tang saw that it was Tang Tang who came, and she lay down in a daze. She really had no strength to support herself. Xiao Chun quickly walked over and touched Tang Tang's forehead. He was shocked. It's so hot. Do you have a cold? Do you have medicine? I will get it for you. No, Tang Tang said weakly. Her living conditions were limited, and she would not buy a lot of medicine to store at home. Then I will buy it. As Xiao Chun said, he quickly ran out of the room and went downstairs. With Xiao Chun's speed, it was still very fast to run from here to the pharmacy. There was a pharmacy near the Morning Street. Xiao Chun had already seen it when he came, and it was open 24 hours. It took less than 10 minutes for Xiao Chun to come back. He did not know where Tang Tang's drinking water was, so he bought 2 bottles of mineral water. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.